Hello random person, Nino here. I just got a new green screen setup. This isn't the typical focus on one piece of merchandise video, but instead a video of just a bunch of stuff that I recently got in my collection that I thought would be cool. Maybe I should create like some sort of name for this type of video. If I ever do, then it should be playing right now. In order to show off this merchandise, first off, I just need to get rid of all of these. These were just here because I thought it would look cool, so you weren't just seeing my hands in green screen. So let's take a look at the first thing I want to show off. This massive thing. I finally got my hands on the F.U.N edition of Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated. As you probably know from live streams, I already owned this game, but I needed to get this because on Best Buy, they were selling this for $70, and typically it's like $300, so I had to take up the opportunity. Unfortunately, the box came damaged, which isn't the greatest. First off, we have some socks. They are based on SpongeBob socks, which makes perfect sense. And just like with Balloon Patrick and the Cosmic Shake, I think this is perfect marketing, given that socks are a regular collectible. I think the only thing that would have been more perfect than this is if they got a golden spatula. Like a life-size golden spatula, it could even be pearl gold. I might end up wearing the socks, I don't know. I'm just afraid of ruining them, but they're cute. They're definitely something I'd wear. Next up, we have a bunch of rehydrated themed stickers. I do appreciate the label. The first two pages are just art from the box art, which makes sense. Then we just have a bunch of just regular stock art of the show. There's Hooky. I do really like this inclusion, given that it is a golden spatula. This entire piece of stock art is a reference to Neptune's spatula, which is also a nice tie-in to BFBB, because the Poseidon and King Neptune are a part of this game. I think the glove balloon stickers would have been a better fit for Cosmic Shake, but it's still a cool addition. And those are the stickers. The main downside to these is that I do wish there were duplicates of these. One to just have in your collection and another that you can actually use, because since this is like a collection piece, I don't want to use any of these stickers. Next up on the chopping block is these little cards with concept art on them. I'll be real, I think these are really cool. And I personally wish that the Cosmic Shake did something similar to these with the coasters. Because the coasters for the Cosmic Shake just had screenshots from the first trailer, but I think it would have been cooler if they had concept art from the games on those coasters. And I enjoy how a lot of these aren't like massively spread around the internet. Like some of them are, like this rock bottom piece. This was showcased probably before we even got a demo. And then we have this one, which I haven't seen on the internet that much. And then we have Downtown Bikini Bottom. What I find interesting about this and the Jellyfish Fields is that they originally were gonna experiment with the time of day. Like this one looks like it's a sunset, while Jellyfish Fields looks like it was early morning. And honestly, I think it would have been cool if they played around with the time zone a little bit. Like, they still look gorgeous in game. I just think that would have been an interesting choice. Okay, time for the really cool stuff. The second to last thing in this collection are the Tiki keychains. The packaging is very well put together, so these don't break, which unfortunately I can't really say about the entire Fun Edition I got. It is decently damaged, which is odd because it wasn't used. Here's all the Tiki keychains. Here's the normal Tiki, here's the Shush Tiki, the Floating Tiki, the Explosive Tiki, and the Stone Tiki. I am a little disappointed how they used the beta designs instead of the ones they use in the actual game, because if you didn't know, they were trying to experiment with colors. For instance, this one was initially gonna have some reds and some blues, but they ended up going with a more faithful design, and due to this one featuring red, red. For some reason, they made this one orangish, which I have no idea why they even went this route in the first place, because, you know, red, it's the color of dynamite, so it's the color of explosives. I thought the red worked a lot better, and I'm happy for the final game that they went with the red. Though I wouldn't have minded if this design for the stone tiki was made in the game. I think this one had some changes that I think looked pretty cool, but I still think it's cool that they decided to go for a more faithful route for the tikis in the actual game. Okay, time for the grand finale for the fun edition of Rehydrated. The statues. Unfortunately, just like the box, they aren't in the best condition in the world, but I still think they look really cool. I absolutely love the bubbles on the back, and SpongeBob himself has all the details correct, which I can't really say for the model they used in Rehydrated. Mainly the socks and the back belt loops, stuff that nobody gives a fuck about. I also love the golden spatula right here. And one cool little play feature about this one is he does the in hindsight, I should have just played a SpongeBob clip for that. Cut to that. Patrick looks really cool too. I like how they utilized the underwear since that's the health system. I like the socks everywhere. And one thing I absolutely adore is how the inside of the watermelon is actually almost translucent. It makes it look really juicy and tasty, and I think that's just an absolutely wonderful detail. And last but not least, we have Sandy. Unfortunately, the lasso kind of broke when it was shipping, but thankfully it's easy to fix. It's really impressive how this holds up. I appreciate the zipper touch, how it's just sticking out like that. I like the shell because that's what Sandy rides in the slide sections. I wish there wasn't an obvious seam for the helmet, but I'm not really sure what they could really do for that. I like the tiki as well, even if it's the early design. One of the details I don't appreciate is how the back of Sandy's head is just all brown, when in most interpretations of Sandy in 3D, it's the yellow part is like all across the muzzle, with rare exceptions like it's a SpongeBob Christmas, but that's a pretty minor thing. Also, again, I love the bubbles. I absolutely love it when they do stuff like this with the bubbles. Oh, and since I ended the Rehydrated section of this video on Sandy, that is a perfect segue into the second thing that came to the mail today. This color box Sandy plush. As I probably put in the title, I spent $200 on this. Well, okay, that's partially a lie. It costed $200, but I'm paying for it in bulk. What's even more insane is that it comes with the tag, and it was in Blockbuster, and it was $5.99. Which really shows its age. And there is a reason why I got this plush. First off, I might or might not be making a SpongeBob plush series and wanted to include Sandy, and I didn't have a plush. And second, this is the best Sandy plush, period. It got the suit right, it has a bushy tail, it has a helmet, there's even a flower here that's actually stitched and stuff. It's made out of fabric. And even though the face is a little wonky, it's a lot better than most of the Sandy faces I see on plushies. From ones with derpy eyes, or ones that just have oddly low mouths for some reason, and some that look good, but aren't super accurate. So I am absolutely grateful to have this Sandy in my collection, especially since Sandy is a very underrated character when it comes to stuffed animals for probably obvious reasons. But it's not as rare as Pearl or Mrs. Puff that have made plushies but either don't have any listings up whatsoever or are hella expensive. And that's all the SpongeBob stuff in this video, but I have more that isn't SpongeBob. So to all the people who only like SpongeBob stuff, get the fuck out. We don't want you here. Okay, are the fake fans gone? The fake fans are gone. Let's discuss the other merch. So recently I went to a concert, and the concert was Hatsune Miku. I purchased tickets way back in December, and I finally saw it the other day. And I absolutely loved it. I'm a little disappointed that they didn't use the typical projection and instead used an LED TV, but I'm still happy with how it turned out. Miku has come a long way since I became a part of the fandom. And even before the show even happened, there was a bunch of shit posts made by the entire fandom. And I can't make this up, there was one person that legit shared the infamous I'm SpongeBob image, and everyone cheered. I was gonna shoot a video of it, but unfortunately, I didn't get my camera fast enough. But anyway, why am I talking about the Miku concert? Because I have gotten merch from the venue. I showed up to the concert 6 hours early to try to get a glow stick, but unfortunately most of the stuff sold out. But one of the things I got was this Miku poster. I still need a way to hang this, but there was a lot of paper posters, but the reason why I got this one is because it's more permanent, and most Miku posters are paper and don't last that long. So I thought it would be cool to just have something more permanent. It's like made out of fabric. Not much to say, I just think it's a cool design. I also got this Miku shirt. Same print as the poster, but it has some dates on the back for the US touring of Miku Expo 2024. And since I don't want to accidentally tell people the state I live in, I'm just gonna showcase the front and not the back. And this was my merch haul. Here's all the stuff I have gotten recently. Do you like this format of video? Should I do more videos like this, or do you prefer the videos where I just talk about one specific thing? Comment below. I love sharing my collection with people and just talking about miscellaneous stuff, so if that's something you'd be interested in, then I would love to hear what you had to say. And with all that said, it's all Sab from here. Hello random person, Sab Nino here. Welcome to the next installment of Sab Merch Odyssey, a new series where I just talk about miscellaneous merch that I randomly found in my collection since I need money, and this is an easy way to make money and spend a lot of it. Today, a good friend of mine, you might or might not see him in the comments, have introduced me to a new comic store. And there was a lot of cool stuff that I found there. And even though I am not financially stable right now, I decided to almost put myself in debt for this video. So you better like and subscribe and all those generic YouTube stuff. Before I show you all the stuff, now I am going to move everything. Go away. F you. I almost knocked over my green screen. I love you, Miku, but go away. These two can stay. Because, like, you guys only care about SpongeBob anyway, right? That's the only reason why you're subscribed? Just for SpongeBob? The first thing I found was this plushie of Tuxedo Sam. Because as of late, I have been on a pretty big Hello Kitty kick, and I thought this one was the cutest one. I have like a friend who grew up with Hello Kitty Paradise, which is one of the animes they've released. K-I-T-T-Y, K-I-T-T-Y. Everybody say Hello Kitty. So they got me invested into watching some of the Hello Kitty shows, and well, I got Tuxedo Sam because he had the best color palette, and second, whenever I see this fucker, all I can think of is Hello Kitty Fairy Tale Theater. So there's a little bit of humor to this.
We used to watch Kiwi's Playhouse right now.
Yeah, wonder what's happening on the Gatsby show.
Huh?
The fabric is a little weird. If you move down, it feels very silky smooth, but when you go up, it's very rough around the edges. If you guys are interested in Hello Kitty, maybe I could make more content on it. I want to educate myself on the Sanrio lore. Okay, one more non-SpongeBob thing, and then I'll get to the SpongeBob stuff. I also got this pack of Powerpuff Girls trading cards. This is Series 3, it was $6. One thing I loved about this store is how it had so much original Powerpuff Girls stuff, because you barely see that in stores nowadays. Nowadays, it's either the reboot, which sucks, the reboot, I hate it, or sometimes they just mishmash the two on mistake. I absolutely love the talking dog on the back of it. I almost feel bad for cutting these, but I want to see what's inside. I definitely want to keep the packaging though. First off, these feel like business cards. we have Mojo Jojo and Professor Utonium. I'm sure this is from an episode. I think this is from the episode where it reveals that Mojo Jojo is partially responsible for the creation of the Powerpuff Girls. Oh, perfect. They actually showcase the episodes on the back. That's a really cool touch. It's Mr. Mojo missing, and the plot is Professor Utonium and Mojo Jojo get down to business building a superpowered duplicating machine. And they explain a lot of behind the scenes stuff, like here's one on model sheets, how they give like expression sheets and lip syncing poses. I think that's really cool. I think more trading cards based on cartoons should be this. Here's another Utonium. He is being mind controlled by a cat. I really need to rewatch the show again, because the first time I have binge watched it, I adored it. I don't remember this episode though. Also, we're getting a lot of Professor Utonium. I don't mind it at all. He is a DILF. I love him. He is one of the best animated dads. This is from Catmandu. This episode is about a cat who hypnotizes the town. Also, it provides a little tidbit that the moon is not round when hypnotized, since apparently they are meant to emulate what a cat sees, which I think is super awesome, and stuff like this makes me respect the show even more. Okay, here's an episode that I actually remember. It was something about, like, a paste eater, I think. And there was, like, some sort of monster made out of paste or glue, I think. Yeah, I was right. Paste makes waste. The result of eating mutant flies can be pretty sticky. Elmer turns into a giant, mean-tempered, and vengeful paste monster. Also, apparently this confirms that backgrounds can either be drawn traditionally or digitally. Which makes a lot of sense, because with the Powerpuff Girls, I think both work really well. Digital backgrounds work really well, but so do the painted ones. You're not gonna believe this. The next trading card is from the same episode. This is the scene where everyone bullies Elmer for eating paste and Buttercup just takes it too far. I get so much secondhand embarrassment from watching this scene.
Eat this, paste eater!
Buttercup, you bitch! What the f are you doing? Also, I just got this. The reason why his name is Elmer is because of the glue. I absolutely love that. Here's another Utonium and Mojo Jojo. I'm guessing this is from the same episode as the first part? Let me double check. Yeah, Mr. Mojo's Rising. This one also has some interesting facts to him. For the stuff you have missed, JoJo's diapers aren't disposable. Damn. I'm assuming this is a chase card, and this is a sneak preview of the Powerpuff Girls movie, which was actually my first introduction to the franchise, because one time I was in an animation class in college and the instructor wasn't there, and there was zero substitute, so we just decided to put on the Powerpuff Girls movie. Oh, see-through. This is a see-through card. That is awesome. I have never seen that done before. And given that the Powerpuff Girls backgrounds are so simple, it doesn't feel that distracting at all. This really is a time capsule. I absolutely love it. Also, it comes with a pamphlet. Here's what's on the inside. Here's a bunch of Powerpuff Girls merchandise. They have a complete card set. I highly doubt I'll be able to get that online. There is a puzzle clock. Here's a bunch of other Cartoon Network stuff. There's a Dexter's Laboratory card set. Should I watch Dexter's Lab, by the way? Comment below. Maybe I'll give it a watch. There's also Samurai Jack trading cards and Powerpuff Girls film cards. I actually saw these in the store. I had no idea those were for the movie. I ended up going with this pack because they were much cheaper, and I wanted to get a good variety of things. But if you're interested in that, maybe I could get that pack if they still have it. Okay, now for the juicy stuff. I found this Nicktoons trading card set. I have no idea what these are. I've never even heard of these. Like, I know trading cards exist, but I have no idea which ones these are. There has to be at least one SpongeBob. Because, come on, he was the golden child. He still is the golden child. If a show gets canceled, it's typically because of SpongeBob. Oh my f***ing god. The first thing we get is tag representation. Halalu? Is that his name? When did these come out? These came out in 2004. So I'm assuming this is the game and not the show. Did you know Talulu originally became angry with the tribe because he lost the magic competition? No, I didn't know that. Because who the hell watches Stack? I'm sorry to all the people in my audience who love Stack. I don't know. Maybe I'm being too harsh on it. It just never grabbed me. Oh, here's one called Adventure Gone Wrong. This is the episode where it starts off with Cosmo thinking that they were celebrating the Styrofoam anniversary, while Wanda thought it was the false anger anniversary. So here's Wanda about to have the cat severely injure Cosmo. And they have like a summary of the episode. For those who don't know, this is the episode where Cosmo didn't read Wanda's signs. We get introduced to Cosmo's mother, and there was like an entire game show for Wanda to win back Cosmo's affection. It's a really sweet episode, and I honestly wish that Cosmo and Wanda's bond from season 1 stayed, because it was really wholesome, and the jokes about them being unhappily wed aren't as charming or even likable. I love Early Flop. I really do. Here's Chester from The Fairly Odd Parents. A character that the later season just decided, we don't need you anymore. Did you know the character Chester is voiced by Malcolm in the Middle and Agent Cody Bankstar, Frankie Muniz? Yeah, Frankie Muniz. Wasn't he voiced by a kid originally? I know Chester and AJ were originally voiced by kids, but ended up being replaced by voice actors. Both of them are fitting choices. I'm not sure if Frankie Muniz was the one who replaced the original Chester, or if he was the one who was replaced. But it's cool having the little tidbit on the cards. Next up, we have our first SpongeBob representation. I'm guessing this is a chase card because he is transparent. He's like transparent, and the background is a lot darker. It's really awesome. I absolutely adore this. Did you know Mr. Krabs once sold SpongeBob's souls to the Flying Dutchman for 62 cents? Yes, I did know that. Fuck Mr. Krabs for doing that. It was very cathartic hearing Squidward actually call Mr. Krabs out on his bullshit.
You think I could have gotten more? He stuck up for you and you sold him out. You should be ashamed of yourself!
Oh my god, I think this is another chase. This is a holographic card. It's like 2 frames of just Mark Chang being spun around, I think. Like his limbs are being spun around by a bunch of kids. I actually forgot the context of this episode. Would have been cool to have some insight on it. That's what I liked about the Powerpuff Girls and this line in particular. I like how they explain some context for people who don't know. It's a good marketing strategy. If you haven't seen the episode and randomly saw it on Nickelodeon, you'd be like, oh yeah, this is where my card came from. And lastly, we have this. You can apparently make your own Nicktoons card. I'm pretty sure this website is defunct. But I don't know. Would anyone actually want a Nicktoons Sab Nino trading card? I doubt it. So unfortunately, that's just something that's gonna stay in the past. I'll be real, I am very surprised on how little SpongeBob representation is in this pack. As a matter of fact, we got more Fairly Odd Parents than SpongeBob. The Fairly Odd Parents has like 3 cards, while SpongeBob only got the 1. At the comic store, this was the only pack, but maybe I could find some more on eBay. Who knows? Next up on the list is something that I didn't get from that store, but something I got at Five Below. I got this Imagine Ink Color Ink Pictures. The reason why I got this was because first off, it was only $3, and second, I used to have a magic ink thing when I was a kid, but the one I had as a kid, it should be on screen right now, only had blue ink that just magically appeared at certain things. Well, here, it has every single color of the rainbow. I know, my coloring skills are terrible, but you can like color pretty pictures, you can find some stuff while you're coloring, just as like a little game. For whatever reason, this is entirely space themed. Yet despite that, there's not a single ounce of Sandy representation in this entire thing. Come on, this setting is made for her. But since this is a YouTube video and I want to take advantage of that, I want to show you guys a single page of how this thing works, because look, call me simple, but I think these are cool. Okay, so I have to search for a striped star, a purple spiral, the SpongeBob initial, and Sandy. Okay, we do get some Sandy rep. We need more Sandy rep if I'm being completely honest. I have no idea how this works, but I think it's really cool. Okay, I found the Sandy bubble. I found a star, but it's not striped, so I'm not sure if it counts. Okay, here's a striped star. Here's the spiral. Yeah, this is like an entire style guide where it's just, hey, let's take SpongeBob and Patrick and put them in space. Here's the initials. Because like around 2013, they had like this interesting trend of just take stuff that is hip and trendy and slap SpongeBob and Patrick on it. I have like a calendar with this premise. Breakdancing SpongeBob and Patrick, there was the space SpongeBob and Patrick, there was like Carnival core, I think. There's even like cozy getup. Sab, put the marker down. Put the marker down, please. You are boring your audience. And here it is. You could just find some stuff while you're coloring, and I think that's neat. Sometimes there's some bleeding on the other page. There's not much of it here, but there have been a few instances where it has blood. But yeah, there isn't a lot of pages in this book, unfortunately. But if you want a little time waster, I would recommend this. It serves its purpose decently well. It's a fun gimmick. I like it a lot. I think the ones I had as a kid are a little better, like in terms of what it offers, but this one does have the more impressive marker gimmick than I had as a kid. Time for the last thing in my haul, the SpongeBob SquarePants minifigure world. This one is SpongeBob at the movies. You rarely see these in the stores, but I've heard really good things about these. I'm guessing this is pre-owned because it doesn't have any tape. One thing I do appreciate is just a little living room inside the box. Here's the figurine itself. There is quite a bit of small parts. There's SpongeBob himself. It's based on that one piece of stock art. If you played Lights, Camera, Pants, you'd know what I'm talking about. I don't like the lack of back belt loops, but I don't really know how they'd be able to fix that, like with this type of like butt shape. They should have at least given them side belt loops. There's the chair. Not much to say on the chair. It's just a chair. And there's a popcorn bucket, so you could just sit on his lap and replicate the stock art. This is pretty high quality. Like, it's no Pop Mart or any of like the newer collectible lines, but you know, for like just a little display piece, I still think it looks pretty good and I don't regret it. And that wraps up SAB'S merch odyssey. This is all the stuff I got this time. Honestly, a lot of them are cool in their own way. I might like the Powerpuff Girls one. I think this might be my favorite in the lot. I also like Tuxedo Sam because I don't have any sort of Hello Kitty representation, but every one of these is unique in their own way. I want to try something different for the end of the video. I might do a poll on this as well, but what should I do for the next SAB merch odyssey? This time, instead of getting anything new, I'm just gonna go for like a backlog because I need to be cautious of what I'm spending. Would you like to see my SpongeBob Burger King toys, my Lego sets, or my stuffed animals? Make sure to comment below which one you'd like to see, or if there's a poll on my community, go interact with that. Which one of these items is your favorite? Comment below. And if there's anything else you'd like to see me collect, comment below, I might consider it. And as always, it's all SAB from here. He is out of his cage. I was not expecting a fluff figure at all. Whenever I do like a merch odyssey, I buy something that's SpongeBob related. Hello random person, SAB Nino here. Welcome back to another SAB merch odyssey. Guess who went back to the comic shop? I'm the only one here, who do you think? Enough stalling, I'm gonna just showcase my stuff. This should be a shorter video. First off, we have this cute Hello Kitty strawberry thing. I don't know why there's sprinkles. I've never tried a strawberry with sprinkles. I'm sure it would taste pretty good. Just an interesting choice. I absolutely love the pastels. This was like an entire set of just different Sanrio characters as some sort of sweetened fruits. I think there was like a Cinnamaroll as well. At first I thought this was like one of those Beanie Baby tags that opened, but I guess not. It's also a keychain. I appreciate the little bow they have on the keychain. They could have just gone with a heart, but that's still really cute. I wonder if it would fit my book bag, because I have like a backpack that I take sometimes, like for groceries and stuff. Okay, next up on the list is this set of Powerpuff Girls the movie film cards. In the last SAB merch odyssey video, I opened another Powerpuff Girls thing, and I did mention these cards not knowing what they were. So when I went to the comic shop, I ended up buying the next pack, and well, unfortunately at that particular comic shop, I have wrung the well dry of of Powerpuff Girls trading cards, along with the Nick ones. I apparently bought the last pack, which sucks, because I was very interested in those in particular. Let's open these bad boys. Snip. I'm trying to be careful with the packaging. I'm trying to make it as neat as I can be, because I want them to look good on display as well. I thought that said original movie at first, and then I realized, wait, no, it says official movie. Because I was gonna be like, they've only made one Powerpuff Girls movie, so I don't know what they meant by original. But no, it says official. They are kind of open. Come on. I think I need to cut off this strand too. Okay, finally. First off, we have a card called These Robes Are a Mess. So these are similar to the Mojo Jojo card that was in the other pack of Powerpuff Girls cards where they're all see-through. So there's not as much information on these ones. Let's see what it says. The super game of tag has caused the street to ripple up into a massive wave. I've only seen the Powerpuff Girls movie once. I should really rewatch it. I remember liking it quite a bit. I definitely remember the tag scene though. I appreciate the backgrounds too. Those are really cool. These are a bunch of monkeys with exposed brains. Here's what it says on top. I'm not gonna read all of these cards because, like, well, I'll be real, I'm just lazy. I believe this is a scene where it showcases, like, the creation of the Powerpuff Girls. I know this is an origin story movie. Yeah, I was correct. Professor Utonium meets the girls. I love how Utonium is trademarked. Our first mayor card. I don't think there was a card of the mayor in the original pack that I got. The mayor and Miss Bellum are such cool characters. They definitely have a nice chemistry to them. There's also this one. It just says, I think everyone's upset. Because I remember in the movie, the girls were like, playing a little too rough with like the kids, or well, not too rough, they're just a lot more powerful than everyone else, so the other kids are just not used to that because they're not powerpuffed. With the kindergarten classroom destroyed, the girls are persona non grata. I feel kind of stupid for not knowing what that means. Maybe I'll look it up. For the last one, it just says a bird eye's view. Personally, I would have gone with the caption, the city of Townsville. If you've seen the Powerpuff Girls, you'd know exactly what I'm talking about. You know, the narrator. Please place the background card inside your film card viewer and behind the character film card? Huh? Maybe this will shed some light. Okay, you've got the Powerpuff Girl movie film card viewer blister set. You can order your very own viewer blister set for just $4.95, shipping and handling extra. The viewer blister set comes with one official Powerpuff Girls film card viewer and two Powerpuff Girls movie sneak preview film cards. See reverse for details, only while supplies last. I'm guessing the supplies don't last. Okay, so this is apparently a thing where you fill out the information. So I'm guessing there's like another card with some characters on it. Oh, there's more detail. Use the background card with the character film card and the official Powerpuff Girls movie film card viewer to create 3D-like images. So this is meant to create like some sort of 3D effect. That's honestly pretty cool. I wish I had something along those lines in my collection. Unfortunately, I don't own any of that because this is my first time figuring out why the cards are like this. But I'll be real, these are sick. These are some sick cards. It makes me want to get into like card collecting, honestly. I'm not big into Pokemon or like Yu-Gi-Oh or anything like that, but these types of cards based on like 2000s cartoons or just any sort of cartoon honestly sounds cool. I know I used to collect some of the SpongeBob trading cards. I think they're very pricey online. I don't know. Would you want to see me open more trading card packs? Comment below. Okay, the next thing in the haul is something pretty out of pocket. Domo. At the comic store, they had an entire section dedicated to Domo. And I knew the moment I saw it, I was gonna get at least one of them. And this was the second most expensive thing. I think the most expensive was like $100 or something. I'm a little upset that they didn't have like a default brown one, but I'll take what I can get. I love Domo. He's just a silly little guy. I'm a little sad that he's not as relevant as he was in the 2000s. I miss him. He deserves more attention. I wonder what happened to him. I was even watching a video the other day about what happened to Domo, and it's very weird. There was like no controversy, no like falling out of irrelevance. He just disappeared out of the blue, and it's kind of sad. This tape is very hard to get off. Does anyone remember when Nicktoons Network used to air Domo shorts? It was like the second wave of Domo. It had like a kick-ass theme song and everything. I believe that was my introduction to Domo. Even with the tape off, it's still very hard. The box is very hard to open. Yes, Domo is free. He is out of his cage. Ooh, he's flocked. I was not expecting a flocked figure at all. I guess I forgot to read the box. Ooh, it's posable too. Okay, the feet aren't posable, but the arms are. I'll be real, that makes me love this figure even more. I think a flocked Domo makes a lot of sense because, you know, he is fuzzy and it feels very nice to hold. I just personally wish he was a brown Domo, but having him in a yellow is still very nice. A part of me almost wants to make like a paper craft of just SpongeBob's pants and put him on him, because I have been into paper crafts lately. This is something from like the German website they used to print out all the time as a kid, and since I discovered the public library, I thought why not start printing more of these little trinkets. So if you want me to pants Domo, just type in, I don't know, pants Domo in the comments. Speaking of yellow things in pants, the last thing in this haul is this big thing. Because whenever I do like a merch odyssey, I just make it a legal requirement to buy something that's SpongeBob related so I can put something SpongeBob in the thumbnail. And there wasn't a lot of interesting SpongeBob stuff this time around. I think I pretty much bought Pete the last time. Well, okay, there was more of those like figurines in that same set, but I thought this would be more unique. It's a piggy bank and you put stuff in it. Unfortunately, I won't be able to use it as such. Who really uses like coins anymore other than like an arcade? I rarely use quarters and nickels, plus what's really the point of pennies anymore? Let's be real. I find it funny how SpongeBob has an entire episode of Mr. Krabs going bash insane over a penny when pennies basically have no use in today's society now. But honestly, this is cute, very well sculpted, and I got it for a pretty good price. I think these are $40 at FYE, but I got it for like a $30 instead, so it's a slight discount. Not a detail out of place, it's a nice expression. I love the little hand gesture, it's very cute. It's a nice display piece, so even if I can't use it as a piggy bank, I enjoy it. Time for a cinematic shot. And that wraps up today's episode of SAB'S Merch Odyssey. Which one of these items is your favorite? I might have to go with the Domo because it's very rare to see Domo stuff nowadays. Plus, you can't go wrong with Flock. Hopefully the next SAB Merch Odyssey will be the Burger King video, I promise, because that's still in the work, but they recently dropped some new Burger King SpongeBob things that I definitely want to get for that video, so I'm taking a slight break so I can take care of that. But yeah, comment below, let me know what kind of stuff you collect, what kind of collector's items are you the most interested in, whether it be stuffed animals or like Burger King toys, McDonald's toys, puzzles, keychain, trading cards, etc. Nendroids perhaps, because I'm always trying to expand my collection. And with all that said, it's all SAB from here. If you watch this video all the way through, you'll find a new theme song. Are you gonna watch it now? Please watch the video. I really want to show off some stuff. Can you please watch it all the way through? Okay, thanks. Hello random person, Sab Nino here. Today's SAB Merch Odyssey is probably gonna be pretty big to the point where I'm probably gonna record it in multiple parts because, well, in 2 days, as of the time of me recording this, it's gonna be my birthday. July 28th is where I turn the number that is funnier than 24, 25. So I literally turned 25 on SpongeBob's 25th anniversary. Isn't that just the greatest coincidence in the world? So I wanted to make a merch odyssey showcasing all of the stuff I've gotten for my birthday, since I've gotten a lot of cool stuff like from myself, and I know I'm gonna be getting some stuff from my friends as well. Right now all I have is the stuff that I've purchased for myself, so let's get into it. I'm just gonna get this one out of the way and move on, but I've gotten these Sony headphones because it's about time to get a new pair. I've had the same pair of headphones for 8 years, and I think it's about time for an upgrade. These are pretty cool. The way it fits on my head is a little weird, and I wish these were a little thicker, but they're still really high quality headphones. I also wish that I could unplug this so I can use these on my phone whenever I like walk with music on. So unfortunately, I do have to keep my old headphones for that alone. This is how my headphones look now. I still have the speakers, I just have to keep them on with my ears. There's like an obvious needle poking out. It's like crusting and shit. This is just nasty. I'm only wearing these if it's absolutely necessary. I wish phones still had auxes. I cannot stand AirPods or like wireless headphones. Okay, now that that's taken care of, let's get to the more interesting stuff. Next up is the steel box for the 4K release of the SpongeBob SquarePants movie. I knew the moment that this came out that I was gonna get it, because even though I have the original standard DVD, it's pretty scratched up. So I thought it was about time for it to upgrade, and why not upgrade it with the best? It's a great movie. I saw it in theaters last year before they remastered it in 4K. One thing I find really cool about this is that instead of going for like a standard box, they actually used the international cover for this limited edition box. Because in other countries, they have used this cover for the Japanese release, I believe, the UK, a lot of other countries. I'll put them up on screen. I also know that in Japan, the first game that ever released their Creatures from the Krusty Krab used this cover for some reason. It wasn't even called Creatures from the Krusty Krab, it was just called SpongeBob. The only thing I really do not like about this cover is these extra holes on the top. I think it just throws this whole thing off, and it kind of upsets me because this covers it up, and I wish this just stuck around the entire time. I wish they either did that or just remove these top holes altogether, because they're pretty distracting. Digital code, I'm probably gonna pixelate that so you don't steal it. Here's the 4K release. Unfortunately, this does not work on my Blu-ray player, so I'm gonna have to get a 4K one. Maybe one that works on 3D Blu-rays as well, because I actually have the 3D Blu-ray of Sponge Out of Water too. And here's the Blu-ray. Thankfully, this one does work. Even though I can't watch it in 4K right now, at least I have the second to highest quality. The only thing I don't like about this is that the DVD menu for the first movie got demoted on Blu-ray. Instead of the sick-ass menu that was on the standard DVD, instead it just had a still image of the movie. I do like the select screen being like spongy and stuff, but it still feels like a downgrade. But I'll give it props that it has more effort than most DVD menus these days. Here's the frame. It is like a collage of like just standard stock art for the movie, and like I'm pretty sure these three are from the movie poster. Either that or just random screenshots from the movie. I love this. It is cool to have a physical set of all three movies again, because even though I have the disc, I do not have the original packaging, unfortunately. And I think this is a pretty good replacement. No, not pretty good, really good. Next up on the chopping block, another Pop Mart set. Are you sick of me unboxing these yet? Because I'm not sick of opening them. This one is Daily Quirks, and this one is for the 25th anniversary. First off, I love this box. I love how it has the Bob Squared style guide. It's very rare that they use it. That is some pretty rare stock art. I appreciate that. I just appreciate this box, period. Holy shit. So there might be a secret in here, but it's hard to say because all I know for certain is that we will not get a single duplicate. Okay, it's blocky with a nose. So it's definitely SpongeBob. Unlike the other sets, this set only comes with SpongeBob and Patrick. I got Heart. No, seriously, this is called Heart. Here's the card that comes with it. This is really adorable. The eyes are perfect for this type of figure because you can see how reflective they are. Not much I can say. I just enjoy the detail. I enjoy just the abstractness of this line, like as a whole. So every Pop Mart set comes with environmental dieting. Let's see if this one has it. Yep, our old friend environmental dieting. I have a feeling that this is Patrick. I hit the nail on the head. Pun entirely intended. Yeah, totally. Speaking of which, here's the hammer. We have the iconic moment from My Pretty Seahorse where Patrick was building SpongeBob the stable. It's like a rare exception where I don't mind this meme being used as much as it does because I personally don't associate it with the meme. I just associate it with the scene. Here's the card. I really love the card design this time around. The only downside to Pop Mart is the box for me. It's square, the shape of evil. This one is sick. There are a lot of people in my audience who only watch me for SpongeBob theme songs. Because apparently if you reanimate the SpongeBob theme song once, people want you to reanimate all of them, so that's kind of what I did. But this is SpongeBob mid getting his pants on by Hans in the theme song. There, we have theme song representation in this video. Now you can watch it all the way through. Regardless, this is a really cute figure. It's such a bizarre way to include it, but they made it work. Also, even though this is inaccurate to the theme song, I do like how this other half is barefoot, and just like with the heart one, the expressiveness of these figures really work with these shiny eyes. This comes with a stand. That's awesome. So that means I could potentially put this on display. It's a pretty bizarre way to set up the stand because for this one you have to put the heel of the bare foot, while with the shoe you have to do the tip of the foot. So it's like a mishmash. This card is appropriately named Fit. This one is probably my favorite so far, not just because of the theme song reference. It's just a really neat looking figure. So far we have 2 SpongeBobs and 1 Patrick, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna get another SpongeBob. Oh my god, this is hilarious. We just got a theme song figure and now we have another theme song figure. I'm trying to see if there's a stand. No stand this time. What's funny about this is that I kind of predicted this figure coming into existence. To promote a Sab Talk special, I made a bunch of SpongeBob theme song commercials, and I made like a 3D model of like a fake toy based on this exact scene. But this is also really cool. They should make a Rubik's Cube of this. I think that would be really cool. Like, I know they've made Rubik's Cubes of like SpongeBob's head, but give us a full body SpongeBob Rubik's Cube. I don't know how that's possible, but I think that would be awesome. And this figure is called Split.
Who lives in a pineapple under the sea? Absorbent and yellow and porous is he. If not nonsense, be something you wish. And drop on the deck and flop like a fish. Ready? SpongeBob SquarePants, SpongeBob SquarePants, SpongeBob SquarePants, SpongeBob SquarePants.
Make better boxes. That's my only complaint for you. This is a square one, so I'm guessing this is SpongeBob. Oh my god, I think I know what this is. Is this like the weird lizard SpongeBob? Holy sh! I am on the mark with these. This one is called Wobble. I love this. I love how you can even see the tie from the little inner crease. I don't know what the hell happened to his arms. I hope he finds them soon, but oh my god, this is amazing. I'm surprised they didn't go with I Was a Teenage Gary. And the card just says Wobble. It's kind of smooth to be SpongeBob. Maybe I'm wrong. Is it flat, Patrick? Oh, wait, I was wrong. I got Welcome. This one is probably one of my favorites expression-wise. Look at Patrick. He's so small and his face is just so weird. I could not imagine them making faces like this, like, in the actual show. There's, like, the back of him. Not a detail out of place. Very impressive. He kind of falls out, though, so be careful. I love this. This is just so random, but in the best possible way. I want to know the context for this. He's just like, yeah, I have the stuff. I have the Patrick. So far, we only have 1.5 Patricks. You know, who needs 2.5 men when you have 1.5 Patricks? I think I just got a Patrick. Now we have 2.5 Patricks. There has to be a stand for this one, right? This one's just called Star. Very fitting. Do I even need to say how perfect this is? Oh my f***ing god, they sculpted him an ass. He is cheeked up. They have gave this man a dumpy. I suppose it's fitting given the last transitions pack. This is probably one of my favorite Patricks. Don't really get a lot of figures where Patrick's actually the default star shape. I'm gonna try to get this all done before my battery dies. Ooh. Is this the sponge ball? This is the sponge ball! Anyone up for a game of sponge ball? This is so cute. I kind of feel bad for him though. Why is he crying? I love how it's not a perfect ball too. It's like, it has like little ridges just like SpongeBob should have. It just occurred to me, you can't even see like the creases on most of these figures. I love how the eyes are so much bigger on these ones because of the gloss. Okay, my phone's at 6%. Am I gonna make it to the last row? So it's like a beige sand, so I'm guessing this is a Patrick. Oh my fucking god, it's Flat Patrick. This one is just called Flat. This is fucking priceless. Look at his face. This is so fucking funny. Probably one of the funniest figures I have ever seen. Not gonna lie. Like, just having him be like flat like this is one thing, but this fucking face. I'm guessing this is Homesick. Oh my god, I was right. This one's so random, but it makes for a really cute figure. Oh, look at him. He's so sad. I kind of feel bad for him. No need to be homesick, Pat. You are the house. Expression-wise, this is probably my favorite line. This might be my favorite line, period, if I'm being honest. Oh my god, they literally printed out the belly button on the bottom. That is so cute. It's upside down, but that's still a really good detail. My battery's at 4%, so I'm hoping I can get these last two out. Come on. My phone's at 3%. I'm guessing this is Horn because I think we have wrung the Patrick well dry. Yeah, this is Horn. Oh my god, the flower base. I love how the base is a flower. That's so cute. I love this one. It reminds me of Truth or Square, the video game, because with that one, you could actually use SpongeBob as a cannon. Kind of similar to how he looks like. Not identical, but it's similar. And the card is just called Horn. Okay, last one. What will win, this video or my phone battery? My phone died. There is nothing else this could be other than Joy. Not to be confused with the Inside Out character of the same name. And there he is. I'll be real, I wasn't expecting the secret. I typically never get the secret, but I really do not care because I still think Pop Mart figures are still worth it even without the rare one. And it only comes with one shoe for the stand. Okay, cool. I'll be honest, I don't think the flower was necessary. I kind of wish they made it bigger or made it a stand like the Horn one. But even with that said, this is still really cute. It took me just now to notice that he has like a little mouth here. That is super f***ing adorable. And I like how you can see his pants on the back. He's just twisting around and I think that's cute. Okay, now it's time for a glamour shot. This is the full set of the Daily Quirks figures. I say this is probably my favorite set so far just for the novelty. I definitely think Pajama Party and Life Transitions have better use of all of the characters. Well, okay, Life Transitions didn't have a Sandy, which is kind of sad, but this set has the best expressions. This set really utilizes SpongeBob and Patrick as characters and really just stretch the limits as to what they can do, what crazy shapes they can come up with, and I think that's great. I think my favorite SpongeBob probably would have to be this one, though this one is a really close second. For the Patrick one, it's a tie between these two. I love this one just for how cute it is, but how can you not love this face? All of them are really fun and, as the name suggests, quirky. So, funny story. I recorded this near the end of July. Now it's September. Look, life just got busy and I was waiting for the rest of the presents to come in. A few people have shipped me a bunch of stuff. I even bought a lot of stuff. So I bought a few things at the mall. This was one of them. It's the Mario Piranha Plant. If you catch up with the SpongeBob Plush series on Spongy Sab Nino Pants, you would know that I have featured him. He looks really bad on this green screen, by the way. The stems and the pipe always get affected by the green screen because they're almost the exact same color. I know some characters have that issue too. I really wish I knew how to fix that. Would a blue screen help? This is really cute. I like it. It comes with a few Mario coins. He makes for a really cool display piece. And it's a nice, cheaper alternative to the $200 Bowser. Although I really want to get the Bowser it is not in the budget right now. So this makes for a good alternative. It has nice articulation too. Though despite the fact that I like the piranha plants, especially the singing ones in Wonder, I'm still salty that we didn't get Waluigi or Crash Bandicoot, but we got a piranha plant. I shall warn you, things are about to get cutesy in here. Since I didn't know what else to buy, I got a bunch of Sanrio Squishmallows to just extend my collection a bit. I got Kitty White, I got My Melody, I got Karopi, Purin, I think his name is. Does it say on the tag? Purin. That was one palm off. I'm still educating myself on the Sanrio lore. I just thought these would be a good way to expand my Sanrio collection, my Squishmallow collection. Each one I got at Five Below. They were like $3 to $5 each. And just like the piranha plant, if you watched my SpongeBob Plush series, you have definitely seen these as background characters, because I think they fill that role really well. I love them. They're really cute. I think my favorite one has to be the Pom Purin, solely because I think his shape fits it perfectly. Though guys, hear me out. Tuxedo Sam Squishmallow. Wouldn't that be cute? Look, he's not my favorite character. He's just underrated, so by default, I love him. So remember that Daria Inferno video I made with my good friend Kasper? They sent me a unicorn off-brand Squishmallow as a birthday present. For a little background, they recently visited me so we can go to Comic-Con. We actually met the voice actor for Winnie the Pooh. Really nice guy. When we were catching up and stuff, they had a unicorn plush as well. This is the exact one, and I really loved it, so Kasper sent me one. So now we're unicorn twinsies, and I just think that is really cool and a great way to show off our friendship. It even has my name on it. Despite it not being a Squishmallow, this is actually softer than a Squishmallow, if that's even possible. I considered getting the axolotl on this line, but I'm gonna be honest, the axolotl looked kind of ugly. I don't think it's as cute as the official axolotl Squishmallow, so I went with the unicorn. Plus, I'm already axolotl twins with somebody else. I have like an axolotl plush I got from Spencer's. We bought them on the same day. And for the grand finale, I got the Comic-Con exclusive Color Me Happy SpongeBob plush. Someone told me that they got me a gift. They knew someone at Comic-Con. They didn't even know that I wanted this, and my first response was, I love you. This was like $25 at the con, but this goes for like $70. The thing I noticed right away is that it's not very soft. His body is like made out of like a thicker foam, and his cheeks are almost rock hard. They almost feel the same as the eye, except with like some felt around it to match the body. There's some unique aspects to this plush that I haven't seen on many plushes, like the face. I have never seen that face on any plush. Though it is weird how his teeth are so small. That is a little off model. I think they're supposed to be bigger because the uvula feels a little unfinished at the top. I think if the teeth covered it, that could have been fixed. Also, the sleeves and the pant legs are very thin. They almost remind me of like a plastic bag, and the pants also have like a material of like a plastic bag or like a natural grocer's bag, which I also think is a little inaccurate because these are meant to be thick. On most SpongeBob plushies, it's like slightly thicker. I get why they don't go completely thick, but I think it gets the job done. Very surprised that they made it like almost as thin as it can go. Another thing that struck me as interesting is the way his body looks. It's like a little bit of like wear and tear already. That's not the greatest. There's like a little bit of darkness over here. This is probably one of my favorite SpongeBob plushies I have in my collection, solely because it is so unique and nothing like I've ever seen before. We've had Gay Bob Pride pants like numerous times, like that one Nickelodeon post that gained a lot of controversy. I don't get why it garners so much controversy. He's an animated sponge. Who cares about his sexuality? And we had the cosmic shape and like a few like rainbow things, like that one weird like sponge collection, but we never got a plush, so I think it's really cool that we finally got one And that was my massive birthday merch Odyssey video. I know it's very late. My birthday was like 2 months ago, but I still wanted to show off the amazing things that I was able to add to my collection. What's your favorite item out of the ones I have showcased in this video? I say for sentimental value, I'd probably go with the unicorn that Kasper gave me, but in terms of like the best item here, kind of hard to pick because a lot of them are great in their own way, but I'd probably go with the rainbow SpongeBob, though the Pop Mart figures are a really, really close second. I probably like the rainbow one more solely because, well, even though the Pop Mart figures are really good, how much rainbow SpongeBob merch do we really get? What kind of merch videos do you like seeing? Start a discussion in the comments and, you know, give me ideas on what cool stuff you think I could collect or like show off or anything like that. I want to make more merch videos for you guys. And with all that said, it's all set from here. Hello random person, Sab Nino here. Welcome back to another Merch Odyssey. Let me start this off with a question. Remember this? A while back I made a video on this Jamor building musical pineapple. At the time, it was located in Japan. Even though it looks pretty good, it's unfortunately very unstable, and time wasn't really kind to it. Didn't this have like antennas? I completely forgot. So this is pretty cheap, but it's a cute novelty. And the figurines are basically just the Mega Blocks and Snap and Switch figures, just much, much bigger. I also got a smaller pineapple, which you'll see on screen. I tried finding it for this video, but I couldn't see it. But here's the Squidward from that set. And the first thing I noticed was this anchor that's like missing. There's a missing anchor here. We'll get to that later on, but you might be wondering, why am I bringing up Jamor? Because there's more. I found out about this cool store called Miniso from Comfort Cartoons, and I found out there was one in my area this whole fucking time, and one of the first things I saw was this. I've been trying to get a hold of these sets for so long, but since I didn't know like exact websites or names, I was afraid of getting scammed, so I was trying to find a legit source, and I found the most legit source, seeing it in front of my face. So this is for sale in Thailand, Vietnam, Indonesia, Singapore, Mexico, Colombia, recently the US, Canada, China, Hong Kong, and China, Macau. This is very interesting to me because I'm pretty sure that pineapple had Japanese tax. I'll show footage of that video for comparison, but I finally got the Krusty Krab, so let's take a look. First order of business, SpongeBob Me Bob. They're literally the exact same. It even comes with the same eye accessory of him going from happy to extremely happy. I don't know. I wish they gave him like a more neutral face or just a different sort of expression. And spoiler alert, this won't be the last time we see this figure. Next up is Mr. Krabs. I say they translated him decently. He's a little tall, but that's really my only critique. The claws were pretty well handled. Holy shit. Just like with Mega Blocks, Patrick and Mr. Krabs have the same body shape. That's why there's such an obvious seam here. That makes perfect sense. But I don't know. That seam is very distracting. I wish they made like a different body piece for him. Also, it comes with two heads. We have this like quote-unquote Cal Arts face, and then we have this infamous smug Mr. Krabs face. Also, these claws look very sharp. He could open a can with these. So this is the Krusty Krab itself. Exterior-wise, this isn't the most accurate, and at this point, I definitely know what the Krusty Krab looks like since we've gone through 3 of them by now, with this one being the 3rd. This flag is miscolored because the orange part should be white. Give it props for actually trying to build stuff, but I wish they made it like a different color because it blends in. Also, there's no Krabby Patties or any real play features that could really immerse you into the Krusty Krab experience. As a matter of fact, this contraption is the only play feature. And here's what this does. I guess it's original. I'll give credit where it's due. I wish a lot of the stuff in these sets are printed, and I'll definitely be complaining about a lot of those, like, as it goes on, but we'll get there when we get there. Final verdict of this, it's better than Snap and Switch, I could safely say that, but unfortunately, not by much. It still has a lot of issues, but, you know, if you're on a budget, I would prefer getting this one over the Snap and Switch. Also, for some reason, you're given extra money. Just money stickers, and they don't even give you extra, like, 1x2 tile. Next up, the Paddy Wagon. One thing I forgot to bring up, I bought 4 of these because there was a buy one, get one free sale, and I'm not sure if it was this one or the Krusty Krab, but I got one of these for free, which is awesome. I love Miniso for that. Common Miniso W. Here's the back of it. I'm surprised there's no Japanese text. They localized this for the US, which is very interesting. Hey look, it's the SpongeBob. Again, they could have done a better face or do something different. Also, Patrick's is identical as well, and he even has the same faceplate. Since I couldn't find it in the last video, I think it'd be great to demonstrate here. So, you plop this off, decapitate it, put this on here, and give him a thing of brain coral, and there you go. You have a pissed off Patrick. I'll give props that unlike SpongeBob and Squidward from the other sets, Patrick at least has a different expression, so I'll give credit where it's due. It just sucks that it's reused. I'm mad because I'm not original. So this is the set all put together. Patrick is in the paddy wagon while SpongeBob is on a skateboard. The first critique I have, both of these characters have a hard time getting inside their vehicles. Patrick had such a hard time getting in his that the paddy wagon fell apart on itself. These are honestly pretty fragile. They have broken on me a few times when building it, but I could just be a shit builder. Like, it's not Sandy Rocket Snap and Switch bad, but it's still pretty bad. It also comes with these cool, like, bricks with stickers on them. I just wish they were printed. They didn't really need to be stickers. There was apparently a play feature with this paddy wagon, because there's like this huge like strand thing. It's almost meant to be like a chain of events, I think. So I push this, and SpongeBob was meant to knock those down. Okay, let's try again. Well, anticlimactic, but I'll give props for including a gimmick that involves all 3 aspects of the build. Also, this SpongeBob was from the Pineapple set, but it's so identical that you didn't even notice, did you? Hey, now let's tackle the bigger sets. This set is just titled The Food Base Eugene H. Krabs. And I'll be honest, this is the last location I would have expected any building set to include. It's not even super accurate, because SpongeBob's here, but this is before SpongeBob even met Mr. Krabs. This is probably even before SpongeBob was even born. Also, one thing I find interesting is the packaging, because this top half isn't the typical, like, Diamond Era style that we've been seeing lately. This is yellow era. This is a yellow label mixed in with the modern era. So it's very unique in presentation. I kind of like it. I'm just surprised. Finally, a SpongeBob figure that isn't the exact same. This one has a unique design, and honestly, I like it. This is actually meant to be his pirate outfit, because there's a Lego SpongeBob set with this exact outfit. Just was added details like the sleeves. So I say give him a pirate hat, maybe an eye patch, and honestly, it would improve it. Good job, Jamar. Mr. Krabs is also unique too, because he's Ragboy. I'll give this set like huge props for originality, because we've never seen a buildable set of basically anything, friend or foe. I just wish instead of SpongeBob, they had a Plankton minifigure instead to really go for that friend or foe theme. But other than the weird Mr. Krabs proportions, I think they translated him pretty well. Though I think his feet should have been colored like red. I don't get that. Also, this isn't Jamor specific, but Mega Bloks have this issue too. It's kind of distracting how the sleeves are just colored the same color as the skin when there's obviously meant to be a sleeve there. Like, it is accurate, it's just kind of a shame how that's just how it's built, but I'm not really sure how to fix that because the rest of the figures with sleeves look really good. So this is the set all built together, and I will admit, this is a great display piece. The gimmicks is where it's sort of lacking. For instance, the main gimmick on the back is that you can open stuff, like this treasure chest, but not very well, and even with that said, there's not really a point in opening this because there's nothing in it. They should have added money, or I don't know, Krabby Patty ingredients or something. The gimmick is just that you can open stuff. Also, I just noticed this peculiar detail. It says back of Krusty Krab base, which is weird because this isn't the Krusty Krab. This was the restaurant that Plankton and Mr. Krabs built together. So if anything, it's a precursor to the Krusty Krab. This was before the Krusty Krab even happened. There's also a lot of stuff in this where I wish the stickers were just printed on. For instance, this two-piece, I had to carefully put the sticker on here, and even with that said, I don't think I did a great job at it. Also, this food thing, I have a beef with in particular, because this is a 2x6. The thing that you put the sticker on, in front of the 2x6, are 3 2x2 pieces, and you have to put this one sticker onto all 3 of those, when the logic is completely ass backwards. They should have put a flat 2x6 in front of this and maybe have 2 2x3s. But as it stands, it just kinda sucks. Also, there's like one seat. There's really no reason for it other than atmosphere. It's just loose pieces. So I wish there was a better way for this to stand up because the way it's handled is a little wobbly. But if I'm being completely honest, regardless of its flaws, I think this might be my favorite set, solely due to its originality and due to it being a great display piece. And for the grand finale, just like with the Mr. Krabs base, this one is also a very niche and unique location. Like, this is the type of niche that I would make for a Lego SpongeBob video if I ever made a sequel to that. It's such an oddly specific pick, and I honestly love it for that. And the only gimmick is you can open That's it. That's all you get. So this is just another display piece. The figurines in this set are also very unique. The characters have very unique outfits. Though Patrick's face is very weird, he almost looks like he's seducing you. I love Squidward's nautical getup. I love, like, the navy blue. This is probably one of my favorite Squidward figures. The downside is his face. I don't know. It looks like he's just really pissed off with his current situation, or he just smelled something really bad. Earlier in this video, I mentioned how Squidward doesn't have an anchor on his hat, while this one does. And that's because I think I threw out a sticker on the pineapple one. However, this set came with an extra anchor. Okay, the hat is still a little inaccurate compared to this one, but this is already a massive improvement. There's not much to say. I don't know that many, like, key details to the diner, but this looks to be an accurate representation of it. I'm sure it's not actually mobile, but it makes for a good gimmick. This plant was reused from the pineapple, but given stickers for extra detail. This one probably has one of the worst stickers. This sticker is this long and goes through multiple pieces, when in actuality, it should have just been in a corner, or I don't know, have it be printed. But other than that, this might be my second favorite out of all of them. And that was my sequel video of the possibly Japanese line of building toys created by Jamor. Overall, these are pretty cheap. A lot of pieces aren't even that sturdy. They tend to fall apart a lot, but that could just be me. But I can safely say that it's at least better than Snap and Switch. Which of these sets was your favorite? Is there anything else from Minnesota that you think I should check out? Should I try to tackle more of the Snap and Switch? I know there's like 3 to 4 sets that recently came out. Look, all I'm saying is that they probably took some ideas from me. Hint, hint. Leave your thoughts in the comments. And as always, it's all Sab from here. Hello random person, Sab Nino here. Welcome back to another episode of Sab Merch Odyssey. Today I got a pretty big haul. Most of it is SpongeBob, I promise, but I will save that until the very end. First off, another thing I got at Miniso. This one is Cinnamaroll. The first Cinnamaroll in my Sanrio collection, which is slowly growing. I love this little goober. He's really cute. Love the little Cinnamaroll branding. I think it came out in 2022. Not much to say on him. I just thought he was cute. So I thought I'd buy it alongside the SpongeBob building sets that I got at Miniso as well. Spoiler alert, this won't be the last time I go to Miniso. But if you want more Miniso stuff, check out my SpongeBob building sets video. Next up is another cool find I actually got from the comic store today. This Tuxedo Sam Boba Tea plush. Somehow I have missed him whenever I have gone to that store, but who knows, maybe he was just hidden in plain sight this whole time. But either way, I love Boba Tea, I love Tuxedo Sam, underrated man. I'm a little salty that Bats Maru kind of replaced him. Justice for my man Tuxedo Sam. He deserves more than cameos and super cute adventures. He will always have a place in my heart. Since I'm the SpongeBob guy, I'm sure you guys are mostly excited for the SpongeBob stuff. However, this is the thing I have been looking forward to talk about all day. I found this original Powerpuff Girls laboratory set. The box is really cute. It doesn't show that much of any of the other sets, but I'm sure there has to be multiple. For all three of the girls, this is Laboratory Playset 2. Sugar, spice, and everything nice. You got a recipe for a lot of fun. Glittery beaker, Professor Utonium mixes the ingredients in his kettle. Trendy charm bracelets. Oh, so it must have an interactive element. I'm sure a lot of people are gonna be annoyed with me, but I'm opening this. I'm actually gonna use scissors just to be on the safe side. I'm trying to preserve as much of the packaging as I can. I'm not doing a great job at it, I'm gonna be honest. Okay, I didn't do too much damage on the box, thankfully. I absolutely love this packaging design. It's so simplistic. But let's see what it comes with, if I can even open it. I want to preserve as much as I can, because this is like from the 90s. This was probably made before I was even born, because I was a 99 kid. Do you like these kind of unboxing videos? Comment below. I'm kind of struggling with it myself, but I'm willing to struggle through it if you guys like the content. Well, okie dokie. I thought I took care of everything. Did I not? Oh no, I was afraid of this. I might have to open these. What I'm gonna do to attempt to preserve this sick-ass packaging is just cutting these open. So far, so okay. Unfortunately, this broke off. I tried preserving it the best I could. I'm sorry, guys. An attempt was made, but unfortunately, I am not making any Powerpuff Girls happy with this video. I am deeply sorry. It comes with Professor Utonium, which there's a little bit of plastic here. Hold on. It's all rubbery. I'll be real. I wish Utonium was like a full-fledged figure, because this is what he looks like on the back, and it's not that good. But he can hold stuff. He's basically just a display piece, but as a display piece, he looks pretty good. This is how it's meant to look. It also comes with this little boiling pot here. Too bad it can't fit in the drawer. And the star of the show, Bubbles. She has full articulation, at least in these areas. Her twin tails aren't articulated. Her body has like a little swivel. She has leg joints, but she can't even sit. So at that point, why do you even include them at all? I say just keep the stand. Just put her on a stand. You don't really need leg articulation. So Bubbles is just here for show, pretty much. She can't grab anything due to her little nub hands. But I think how you're supposed to play with it is just, you know, you put in the spice, I think, the sugar, spice, and I think Bubbles is meant to be everything nice. Or maybe this is meant to be everything nice. Wait, no. This is meant to be Chemical X. And this is probably just meant to be the Powerpuff Girls concoction. Either way, this is a cute set. I'm happy to have it in my collection, even if I did damage the box in the process. One thing I almost forgot to mention. It comes with this cute bracelet. I wonder if it fits. Oh my god, it fits! I was not expecting it to fit at all. This is awesome. It comes with little bunnies. This is great. I love the flowers, I love the colors. This is sweet. I'm wearing it throughout the whole video now. You can't stop me. Now for the last thing I got at the comic store. This Patrick piggy bank. It was either this or a SpongeBob Christmas book. Which one would you have gotten? Comment below. But this is clearly based on that one SpongeBob stock art, the one where SpongeBob's jumping on his belly. The coin slot is actually pretty creative, I'll give them props. Though I wonder why they went with this pose in particular. It's kind of random. Here's the SpongeBob piggy bank for comparison. They're pretty size accurate, I'm impressed. There's not much to this, I just think they're neat. They're buddies now, they're best friends. I love them. Also, one thing I forgot to bring up in the birthday video I did, I eventually got the Funko Pop that's based on Ripped Pants. I love this figure. It's really cool. Probably one of my favorite Funko Pops in the collection. Definitely my favorite in the 25th anniversary line. And the main reason why I got this is to commemorate my mom because this was her favorite episode. And I know for a fact that she would have loved it. Next up, this Uncle Flying Dutchman figure. The reason why I got this was for the SpongeBob Plush series. Because at the time, the Flying Dutchman didn't have a plush, and to be honest, I wasn't expecting there to be a Flying Dutchman plush until Search for SquarePants came out, but I was grateful to be proven wrong. I would be showing that off instead, but first off, this figure's cool, and second, I don't want to showcase it right now because I am going to be using it for a pretty big video, so watch out for that. The one thing I found interesting is that they teased a Series 2 that never happened, and I kind of wish it did. It comes with a normal SpongeBob, King Patrick, Gary the Snail. It's sort of weird how SpongeBob's his body though. Plankton and Sandy, who would be a perfect character for this set. And I'm surprised they picked the Flying Dutchman over her. But let's open up the Dutchman. So this is the Dutchman. I think he looks pretty cool for this type of figure. This section is kind of loose though. It actually fell off when I got it, and I have to hot glue it later. The hands come off for some reason. Don't know what's up with that. I actually don't know what Uncle is, so I'm not sure why the Dutchman has like 4 legs and why they have like this little scuba gear. But either way, it's a cool novelty. I mainly got it because it's the biggest Dutchman figure there is, though it's definitely not the most accurate, but it did serve its purpose in the plush series until the actual Dutchman plush came in. Speaking of plushies though, the last thing I wanted to bring up, Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy plushes. I can't believe it has taken them so long to make plushies of Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy. They're pretty good quality, it's very soft, a lot of the details are so accurate, and they're cuddle size. I say if Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy are your favorite characters, I would highly recommend these. Even if you're a huge SpongeBob fan, these are perfect for any SpongeBob fan. I love them. And I think this is a good way to wrap things up. And this was another SAB merch odyssey. Which one of these items was your favorite? Are you upset with me with the laboratory playset? If you are, then I wouldn't blame you at all. Is there anything else I should start to collect? Please comment below. Let's just start a discussion. And as always, it's all SAB from here. Hello random person, SAB Nino here. Welcome back to another SAB merch odyssey. Today is probably gonna be a shorter video because this is a shorter Pop Mart set. I got the Carnival anniversary of SpongeBob SquarePants because they keep one-upping themselves with the SpongeBob line. I really hope the next one doesn't come soon because I really want to get a non-SpongeBob thing. Here's everything that is shown. I really like the box. I like this gradient and the hands. It's very unique. One thing I've started to notice about these Pop Mart sets is that each box looks very, very different. They don't use the typical style guides that they use for the normal SpongeBob products, but instead they do something of their own. The only critique I have is that I don't really like the tracing of the figurines here. I wish they either tried capturing the style of the show a little more, or just had screenshots of the actual products. But I do like what they were going for. The box is a little damaged, but that's okay. I hope I am opening this correctly. And the first thing I notice about this set is that there's only 6 figures. But something I have just noticed is that they're bigger than the typical Pop Mart SpongeBobs that I have gotten. So this is going to be very interesting. The box is basically just a repeat of just the normal box. I still don't like how you have to rip these. But let's see who we get. Personally, I'm really hoping I can get the Chase because it's the best friend forever ring with Bikini Atoll. And I just think that's super cute. But, who knows? Oh my goodness. I feel something cylindrical. Holy sh**. Is this what I think it is? Nah, it's a chum bucket. Ah, damn it. I got my hopes up for nothing. But we got the chum bucket. Right away, one of my issues is that this bucket handle is very flimsy. I wish there was a better way for it to hold other than just this. But here's Patrick with a plankton hat, with a plankton dumpster, with a plankton trash can, eating a cake. I believe that plankton trash can is from the Patrick Star Show, but I could be wrong on this. It's pretty bare bones, I won't lie. It's pretty cute, but so far, I'm sure there's more extravagant ones in this line. Also, here's the card. The card design looks really good. 1 down, 5 more to go. That was the worst opening job I've done so far. God damn it, I've been spoiled. And it wouldn't be a Pop Mart set without environmental diatom. I kept saying diatom in the other videos, but it's diatom, I think. Next up is Patrick's Rock. If you've seen my Snap and Switch video and my Lego SpongeBob comeback video, you would know that I madly appreciate Patrick's Rock representation because it's not a location that's really utilized that much given that it's a rock. But I still feel like it's just as important as SpongeBob and Squidward's house, so it's always a shame whenever they just don't include it. And this is SpongeBob and Patrick eating a cake. The SpongeBob design on the cake is inspired by Breath of Fresh Squidward, and it's kind of hard to see, but SpongeBob and Patrick are wearing their Goofy Goober hats that say 25. I don't understand what's up with that flower, but it's a nice touch. Hold on, let me take a closer look at this. I noticed that their eyes are still sort of glossy. I'm not sure if I'm seeing things, but I thought they would have skipped that step given that the characters aren't the main focus. But it looks like they still added gloss on their eyes, and that's really cute. I love it when Pop Mart does this, especially with characters like SpongeBob where the eyes are very prominent. And here's the card. Damn it, I broke the box a little bit. Oh, I forgot to bring this up, but I love the pineapple pattern here. I recently did a video on the different merch eras of SpongeBob, and this reminds me a lot of the pineapple era, especially since it uses a more yellowish pineapple pattern opposed to the orange one like in the show. I'm gonna try not to look in the box this time. Okay, I could tell just by the shape alone that this is the Krusty Krab. So far, all of these involve cakes, which is very interesting. It looks like they're sitting on a sack of potatoes. I can't entirely tell. I'm not sure exactly what those are, but I know that cake is a reference to friend or foe. It's hard to see, but it even has the same writing. It says Big Boy. And for the front, honestly, it leaves a lot to be desired, which is a shame because Pop Mart is typically really good at their attention to detail. But the main things that stick out to me, the flags just aren't there, and they're an iconic staple of the Krusty Krab. Even if not all flags are present on every design, they are very iconic. Plus, the nails aren't colored in, and even though it's not necessary, I would have appreciated an antenna. But I will say, I do like the windows. They didn't have to make them real windows, but it adds a really nice feeling of realism to this little figurine. I just wish the front looked better, because the inside looks pretty good, but the front, not so much. And here's the card. We're halfway there. Now, what could this be? One of my guesses is the anchor. I highly doubt it's the best friend forever ring, but let's see. Oh, my first guess was correct. Mr. Krabs' anchor. Since everything in this line has to involve a cake of some kind, this one has a money cake. I don't think that's a reference to any given episode. If it is, comment below, but it's probably not. But Mr. Krabs is laying on a big sack of money. He's a little off model, but hey, he still looks kind of cute. Honestly, I just think it's really cool that they included Mr. Krabs' anchor. It doesn't look 100% accurate, but that's okay, because it's very thin, so I highly doubt they'd be able to fit anything inside of here if they actually made it to scale. So I don't mind the anchor being a little extra thick. I think so far, this one might be my favorite solely because this has less representation than Patrick's Rock. And for that alone, I'm gonna give them a lot of points for originality. Obligatory card. We're down to our final two. I'm secretly hoping for the best friend forever ring, but I really doubt that I'll get it. Okay, this one has to be the pineapple. How can it not? It's the pineapple. I like the outside of this a lot. It reminds me a ton of Sponge on the Run. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's where they got the inspiration from. The inside is very interesting. Cause like, oh, this is an odd place to put this. I don't think that cake is a reference to anything in particular. It says BFF, so I'm guessing it's a reference to the Best Friend Forever ring. I like to think it's a reference to the SpongeBob musical, but it's just SpongeBob baking. He made something. He made like little sculptures of Squidward and Plankton and Mr. Krabs, and he's dressed up as Patrick. I love the jellyfish mobile. I kind of wish you can spin it, but I can definitely see why they wouldn't make it spin. At first I wondered why SpongeBob was wearing Patrick's clothes, but actually having it at my disposal and really looking at the details, it makes perfect sense. Plus, it's a good reference to the episode Big Pink Loser. This one is definitely one of my favorites. I like how unique it is, and this is probably one of the best pineapple exteriors I've seen. I recently got the Area X pineapple set, so maybe that'll one-up it. We'll just have to wait and see. And here's the card. Okay, our last figure in the set. I am assuming it's Squidward's house, because right now I haven't received that much luck when it comes to the mysteries. Yeah, this is definitely Squidward's house. I'm okay with that. You'd think Gary would be in the pineapple set. I wonder what he's doing at Squidward's house. When I think of Gary and Squidward, recently I just think of the episode Chatterbox Gary, where Gary just critiques Squidward's art. But just like Squidward himself, this set is depressing. Squidward just has a cake that says, "I am happy." He's just drab and depressed. Nobody there to support him. I like it. It's very fitting for Squidward as a character. And the front looks pretty decent. Like, it doesn't blow me away, but it looks like Squidward's house. And that's really all it needs to be. The final card. So here's everything I got from the Carnival anniversary. As expected, we've got all of them but the mystery. I might order that one online because that one's just really cute. But if I'm being completely honest, I feel a little underwhelmed with this set. Like, I love the idea. I appreciate them doing something different. But I don't know. The set just didn't wow me like the other ones. And I feel like that attention to detail that I appreciate about Pop Mart is kind of lacking in certain departments. I don't know. I think they could have done better. But that's not to say that this isn't good. It's just not my favorite. And I hope they do eventually continue the SpongeBob line, which they probably will, because there's probably like 6 or 7 at this point. I know the Pop Mart set was the main focus of this video, but since we have some extra time, I want to showcase this SpongeBob Wet n Wild real quick. I was gonna try to do like a full-blown video on this, where we actually put on the makeup, but unfortunately I ended up having to scrap it. And I'll be honest, I'm not much of a makeup person, so I'll just show off what I got here. It's not just SpongeBob. I also got this My Melody, this Kuromi, and this hybrid of the two. It actually didn't look this bad in the packaging. This one kind of fell apart because I'm a klutz and I dropped it. I didn't use these two, someone else did, but the people I had on for that scrapped video called this one a 2 out of 10 and this one a 7. But again, I know nothing about makeup, so I'm not sure how much weight that has. I basically tried all of these but this one. I do like how it made my face look, so I definitely plan on using this more often. It also came with these, which I haven't had an opportunity to use. This is the entire SpongeBob makeup collection. This one got used the most, and I definitely plan on cleaning this. But the Patrick makeup sponge worked really well, and I did end up using the SpongeBob one, and despite its square shape, it actually works better than I expected. I used the Sandy brush too. I'm not sure how well that worked, but I wanted to try it out. The Gary cleanser is very on theme. The sponge case is really cool. I haven't gotten an opportunity to use that, and I really want to use the Krabby Patty and these sprays. Not sure what these sprays are for, but the main attraction, the Nautical Nonsense palette, is really nice. I have personally used this like coral pink and this little shimmer of the bluish glitter, and I'll be showing footage of that on screen. Honestly, I was blown away by this. And I definitely plan on using this in the future, if I ever get an excuse to use it. Because unfortunately, depression is a bitch, and I have no friends here, so I don't really have many opportunities to go out these days. But that's where I'm gonna wrap up this video. I hope you enjoyed this shorter display of things that I got. I'm sorry they didn't turn out as extravagant as I initially planned them to be, but it is what it is. What kind of stuff do you want me to do next? Is there anything you want me to start collecting? Feel free to comment below. I know I have a few other things that I want to show off once they come into the mail, so I'll keep you guys posted on that. And as always, it's all Sab from here. Hello random person, Sab Nino here. Welcome back to, I believe, episode 6 of Sab Merch Odyssey. And boy oh boy, I have been dying to make this video. Today we're going to be opening up the Area X SpongeBob Pineapple set. However, just like most episodes of Sab Merch Odyssey, I'm going to be showing off some other stuff I got since then. For instance, probably one of my favorite items in my collection, something I lovingly call the Nickmas tree. I used to own this tree when I was very little, like 4 to 5 years old, so having this in my collection honestly makes me really happy. Unfortunately, it came out in January and not December, so it's a little out of season, but Kasper was able to convince me to just have it on display for a little bit, and well, it's a nice display piece, especially since it's very hard to find. It came with a box as well. For whatever reason, someone drew SpongeBob with bloodshot eyes, but it's the same print on the backside, so that one's thankfully safe. But this is a Toys R Us exclusive item, which makes me feel old. Even though Toys R Us is still around, that still makes me feel old because it's definitely not as big as it was when I was a kid. The only thing that's missing are the 6 bubble balls that are shown on the box. But one thing I appreciate that the seller did is to replace them. They actually gave me a shit ton of extra ornaments. For instance, the original only came with 4 SpongeBobs and 1 Patrick. Well, now I have 2 Patricks, 1 Squidward, 1 Sandy, and 1 Mr. Krabs. It also came with 4 other SpongeBobs, but they were just smaller versions of the ones that came with the Nickmas tree, so I didn't feel the need to hang them up. I don't know, maybe one of these days I'll get my own ornaments for this tree, but I feel like it would be a little imbalanced given that all the ornaments are small, and this isn't the size of a usual Christmas tree. It's like a nicer Charlie Brown tree. This is the Charlie Brown tree once everyone gave it the care it deserved. Now that I showed off the Nickmas tree, let's talk about the Area X Pineapple. First off, it came with this. Basically just a card of approval, I think. I have no idea what this does. It says play in now, and here's a thing that says welcome to Pineapple House, which is grammarly incorrect. It should say welcome to the Pineapple House or welcome to SpongeBob's Pineapple House, but oh well. And I tried scanning this QR code because AliExpress actually shipped this in 2 bags, and I thought this QR code would have been the instructions, but unfortunately it wasn't, so I had to wait. So my pineapple for a while was just a husk. I was able to build the minifigures early, but yeah, this is, I believe, where you can win stuff, and I don't even think this QR code even works in the US because it showed like some sort of messenger app. But I do like how this looks, it's cute. Also, unlike the Area X Krusty Krab, this only came with 1 set of instructions, as you'll see in a minute, but I do like the pineapple packaging, really cute. I'm sorry if my voice kind of cracks and stuff. I had a strep throat for a while, and I'm still kind of recovering from that, so yeah. I just noticed this, but this is a reference to the episode Unreal Estate. If you're a fan of the channel, you definitely know that episode because of the theme song parodies. I have no idea what any of this says, but I like the Squidward silhouette. It shows all the features. Probably shouldn't be showcasing any of this, but it shows these. They're apparently called SpongeBob Wonder Dreams. I kind of want those. These are the good friends SpongeBob and Patrick. I've seen like videos of these and they look really cute. I know for the 25th anniversary, a bunch of artists from all over the world draw their own interpretation of SpongeBob, and I think this is one of them. As in some episodes of Comfort Cartoons, I have seen these on different products. and they're really cute. Here's the Area X Krusty Krab, which I've already talked about on this channel. These 4 were on the Area X Krusty Krab. However, since then, they've actually extended this set of good friends from 4 to 8, where they have a Secret Krusty Krab, which is a reference to Band in Bikini Bottom, the Chum Bucket. I really love that Karen, Mr. Krabs' Anchor, and Sandy's Freedom, which is really cool because I didn't think we'd ever get a Sandy figure. One thing I also appreciate about this one in particular is how it gives you an option to both have Sandy in her suit and her Treedom attire, so it's also very versatile. More versatile than any figurine of Sandy ever. Also, just like with Lego SpongeBob and Mega Bloks SpongeBob, I love how expressive a lot of these figures are. You don't get the same SpongeBob twice. That's awesome. I think we have finally reached the interesting parts of the instructions, so enough stalling, let's discuss the pineapple. Okay, correction, there's going to be a little bit more stalling because I'm going to show off the minifigures first. So here is the SpongeBob figure. Oh cool, I just noticed. SpongeBob actually has a little bit of side printing there. That's neat. I wish that was the same with his side and top holes, especially since the Snap and Switch and the Mega Bloks ones do that too. But he's still cute. The only downside is that he is very similar to the Krusty Krab one. Here's the Krusty Krab for comparison. They're very similar faces, not identical, and honestly I might like the pineapple one better, but they are very similar, and I wish they gave SpongeBob like a different face. It's not that big of a deal. It would be nice to have a little bit of variety. Here's Patrick. I really like Patrick's shape in the Area X sets, and this is the Krusty Krab one for comparison. I will say that Patrick's face does share a slightly different expression, so it does do a little bit better than SpongeBob, though I don't get why his mouth is so big. What's up with that? It's kind of creepy. But I do actually like this Patrick a lot better. It reflects more Patrick as a character and looks less dead compared to this one. Next up is Squidward, who they actually tried giving a new expression to. However, there's kind of an issue with that, because as you can see, he's smiling, but his mouth is permanently frowning. Like, the base shape of his head gives him a permanent frown, so it looks kind of creepy. I like how Mega Bloks handles this, where they give Squidward's head shape, like that part of Squidward's head, like a more neutral pose, so they can give whatever mouth they want. They even make it bigger so he can open his mouth. So I say if they wanted to do that, they should have gone that route, but I do appreciate them giving Squidward a new expression, because as you can see in the Krusty Krab set, he's doing the thing, that one stock art pose that you see on just about every piece of stock art ever. Well, this one reflects the smiling Squidward stock art that is also very common, but not as common as this one. I might like this one better though, solely due to the frown matching the frown sculpt better, but I do like the attempt at least. I knew we'd get this face eventually. The infamous stock art Mr. Krabs. He still looks really good though, and they've actually made like a pretty big improvement to this. Because in the Krusty Krab set, I mentioned how these are the same color as this shell, but here they made them slightly darker, so good job Area X, you've actually improved upon yourself. I say both of them are exactly the same quality, so I don't have many complaints. I guess it is weird that Mr. Krabs' nose is so thick, but that's like very minor. And the most interesting addition, we got our first Sandy, and she looks great. This might be one of my favorite Sandys out of like the buildable sets, especially since they've actually done something that no other buildable Sandy has done. Her flower. Well, okay. Mega Bloks does include her flower, and Snap and Switch does it, but as a sticker, which is stupid. But here, it's actually a physical piece. It does kind of go through the helmet, but that's okay. And one thing I found really interesting is the way you actually build it. So in most Sandys, you typically have to put her head in first, then wrap the helmet on. However, here, you actually have to put Sandy's head in the helmet, and then you place it down like so. Personally, I don't think the order really matters, but it is a very interesting choice. Also, one thing I do want to add is that there's two versions of the pineapple. There's the common version that you can get for cheaper, and there's the ultimate version. I got the ultimate version, and the main reason why I'm saying this is because Sandy is not in the common version, neither is the figure coming up. It only comes with SpongeBob, Patrick, Squidward, and Mr. Krabs. Which, personally, if I were to be in charge of that, I would have replaced Mr. Krabs with Sandy, because I think she's definitely much more fitting for a set themed around SpongeBob's house, because, like, does Mr. Krabs really have a reason to be there? Unless it was like a party or something work crisis related. Anyway, let's get to our last figure. This random guy, or should I say random person, because that's my catchphrase. I had one job and I blew it. But yeah, you just get this random fish. I don't know why. What's he doing at SpongeBob's house? Is he meant to be Perch Perkins? Because he doesn't really look like Perch. But he has a suit, so I'm guessing he's some sort of news reporter. And he has a similar color to the movie Perch Perkins, or Perch without makeup. But he looks very similar to this customer from the Krusty Krab. And just like that fish, he looks like he's hiding shit. But one thing I just noticed, I think I forgot to point out, is that there's leg articulation on the fish, but not on the characters. I wonder what's up with that. Because personally, if I were to do this for consistency, I wouldn't give them leg articulation. Kind of like what Mega Bloks did with all their background fish. Because trust me, there are a ton of background fish in Mega Bloks SpongeBob. Almost too many. But okay, enough minifigure talk. Let's discuss this base. This base is the bane of my existence. I had to rebuild it twice and had to fix it like 6 to 5 times. Because no matter what, parts of this kept breaking. And it reaches a point where I wish this was just one piece, because for a base, it should be very sturdy. You know, when I was talking about the Area X Krusty Krab, I did get one comment saying that that one point where part of the Krusty Krab broke was kind of suspicious, and they questioned as to if I had anger issues. And the answer is, I don't. Though if I actually recorded me trying to fix this over and over, you would definitely think that I did. But the honest truth is, at least in my experience, other people might have a different experience to me. Certain sections of Area X are just very hard to put together because there's a lot of Technic pieces for this thing to spin. So you have to balance these pieces with those and trying to make sure everything is in place. I'm still afraid of this breaking on me. But enough about my incompetence as a builder. One other addition I appreciate about the Ultimate Edition is all the Easter eggs. The only one that doesn't make sense to me is this enter sign, because why would SpongeBob own an enter sign? That's the Krusty Krab's thing. It also comes with a bubble stand, because of course. Another thing I find really cool are the jellyfish, because like they come in all shapes and sizes in this set. Like we have the big jellyfish here, which uses the seaweed pieces for the tentacles. There's the chef hat jellyfish, which makes me really nostalgic for Lego SpongeBob. And probably my personal favorite, these smaller ones. They're so cute. They're like little baby octopi. If anything, I wish this came with more jellyfish, because they're really cute. But there's also this jellyfish, which is zapping, which is also a nice touch. There's these bikini bottom buildings. They're a little fragile, but that's okay. They're easy to fix, unlike the base itself. But it's a nice touch because, well, on Con Street, there's typically a bunch of those like in the background. I also like the greenery. For instance, this coral formation. I know I've used this exact piece in Lego Jellyfish Fields in that Lego SpongeBob comeback. Oh, and the clams are really cute, and they open up. You know, in Lego SpongeBob, I'm surprised they didn't introduce any clams, because the only time I've seen Lego SpongeBob use this piece is for boating school chairs, but it's whatever. Also, this isn't an issue with this set, but just kind of something I've questioned about the show itself. We have a prominent sea star character, but despite this, there is sea star greenery. An example I can think of off the top of my head is Saving Bikini Bottom, but it might be the case in Sponge on the Run, but that never made any sense to me. Are there fish in Bikini Bottom that are more affected by Neptune's moon than others? That's my only guess. Also, despite the shape, this is not Patrick's Rock. I'll actually show off this feature right now. So this Patrick's Rock looking thing is actually a spinner, so you can spin around the pineapple. Oh, One thing I also forgot to bring up, the SpongeBob's Place sign. It lights up. But one thing I've always found interesting about this, like once I found the screenshots, is that this pineapple is one solid shape. Like, does it look great? Oh, absolutely. It has working windows. It has a working door, kind of blocked by the greenery. This is a nitpick, but this whole section of the door should not open. Also, I wish this spun. I don't know. I like the spinny spins. A part of me sort of wishes that you can build the exterior, but maybe for the sake of simplicity and for my wallet's sake, maybe it's best that they didn't do that. The only other downside I have is the chimney looks a little small, but that's a huge nitpick. Go away, base. Feck you. Get out of here. You are not loved. Oh, and another thing I'll say about the base, in the regular version, you don't get any of the Easter eggs. You don't get the bubble stand. You don't get the SpongeBob's Place sign. I don't even think you get the jellyfish. It's just a plain base, so. I'm just saying this for, like, all the people who are legit considering buying this, because I feel like that is very important to know when deciding, because I don't want people to buy the normal edition and then, like, realize last minute that, oh, there's a better version. Why didn't I get that one? Which I almost did. But here's the exterior. Here's SpongeBob's living room. It comes with SpongeBob's iconic chair, which is really good. TV is at a weird angle, but it makes sense for the build. And you get this fish. I kind of wish we had that, like, fish hook decoration over there. Or wait, this should have been over here and a fish hook should have been over there. But it's not that big of a deal. But I will say, I wish there was a way to make this wall blue, like in the show. But knowing Area X, I feel like if they did that, then it would probably be a very obnoxious sticker. So maybe that's the reason why they didn't do that. Oh, speaking of stickers, I still struggle with those, which you'll see in a minute. But one thing I don't understand is that some of the sand pieces are printed, but some you have to apply with stickers. So why not make all of them printed? It would be a lot easier since the pieces of the stickers are so tiny. They're kind of like you stick them on, then you peel them, and a lot of those little dots kept like falling off no matter how much I applied pressure to them. But maybe that's a skill issue. We also got SpongeBob's gym. Oh, there's also these spinny things to display your characters on. However, you can't do this when you're gonna close up the pineapple because they'll just fall off. And it's kind of hard to see, but like these are much lower than these, so these will fall off. But it comes with a punching bag, it comes with this I Heart Pain, and of course it comes with the iconic stuffed animal weights. I have no idea what this is though. If anyone knows what this is, please comment below because I have no idea. I thought at first it was the personal robot assistant that SpongeBob gave Patrick in the gift of gum, but the design doesn't really reflect that. My other guess is a scale because there's a little like odometer there. It's just nearly impossible to see unless you look at it really close up. And here's the kitchen. And off the bat, I adore the salt shakers, because they're like attached on a little string, which sort of scared me because I was afraid I was gonna have to tie them onto the salt shakers, but no tying is required, so that was nice. The one thing I don't understand is Gary on the door. Why is he on this door when he's up here? He's up here, so that's unnecessary. Same as Patrick in the door. He's in the set. It's less of a big deal, but you can close it, so you can easily hide it, but this still kind of sucks. Also, as you can see here, the sticker broke, because like there's actually an issue with these types of stickers. It accidentally stuck in the wrong location, and I was trying to get it off, but it ended up peeling off, and I couldn't get it off. I couldn't fix it. So unfortunately, it looks like he's going, here's Johnny. Also, for whatever reason, the kitchen is the biggest location of the pineapple. I wonder why that is. It still looks really cool though. And we get a little plankton, which does make a lot of sense given that there are Krabby Patties. Maybe that's why Mr. Krabs is in the set. And there's also this box, which comes with a bunch of cleaning stuff. I just put them in here because I didn't know what else to do with them, and the instructions didn't say what you're supposed to do with them. So it's cool that there's storage space. And in SpongeBob's bedroom, you get a treasure chest. It comes with money and a diamond. Now I definitely understand why Mr. Krabs is in here. SpongeBob, I hope you have a key for this. Also, This is kind of random, but there's actually a charger port of all things. I can't use this on my phone because, first off, I'm using my phone to record this, and second, the end of my phone charger is a USB, so it wouldn't even fit. But SpongeBob's bedroom does look really cool, like the diving board. It's interesting how they featured the most useless character in SpongeBob, Shelly. Seriously, this character serves nothing. I'm currently playing the SpongeBob movie PC game, and they actually pointed out how he flew away. And in some Sponge on the Run concept art, when they were designing SpongeBob's bedroom, there was one piece of concept art where they replace him with a lantern. That's how useless he is. So that's one element of SpongeBob that I never understood. Why does SpongeBob have a clam when nobody on the show gives him any stories? Speaking of Gary, he looks pretty good. He does look a little clunky, but I do like a lot of the piece usage. Like, they actually printed on the slime trail, which is also a really cool addition. I think the only downside is kind of like the clunkiness, the chunkiness of the shell, and I wish his eyes were bigger, though I do like the reference to Lego SpongeBob with the cherry piece, intentional or not. There's also this hole, which has always been in SpongeBob's room, but no one knows where it goes to. This set implies that it drops you to the kitchen, but this doesn't have a stairway like in the show, so this replica isn't accurate. Oh, and since we're in SpongeBob's bedroom, this also lights up. Just like the Krusty Krab, it lights up, and for the most part, they actually hide the strands decently well. People have told me that I probably built the Krusty Krab wrong, and that's the reason why the wires were very noticeable. I don't know, eventually I might go back to the instructions, but here, they're hidden really well. And for our last location, the bathroom and the library. The library doesn't have much to showcase. It does have a few notable books, like this one on London bridges, which is an interesting choice. They're all kind of crammed in here. No, one piece fell off. You know what, since I'm fixing the library anyway, might as well show off the other book Easter eggs. There's this one that just says heads. It just says head, and it shows like this tiny little guy. And it has this Friends Forever book, which is an iconic reference to Dying for Pie, which is one of my personal favorite episodes. Okay, I am back. Anyway, the library doesn't have much to offer, but I do appreciate its inclusion. Though I don't get why there's Kelpo and Gary's food in here. This is the can of Snail Po from I Was a Teenage Gary, and here's SpongeBob's bathroom. Unfortunately, due to the way this was built, this wall is brown, which is inaccurate to the show, but that's okay. It comes with a rubber ducky, and down here, this is a reference to Truth or Square, where SpongeBob gets absorbed, goes through the ringer, and goes into there. It's kind of hard to explain, so I'll probably show footage of it. Speaking of which, I'm surprised this doesn't come with his ringer. I know in the normal edition, they exclude the library and just show SpongeBob's bathroom. Or at least that's what I'm assuming. I'll show a photo of it if that's the case. But if that's the case, which I'm assuming it is, does it include the ringer there? Oh, and this actually has a play feature. You can launch people out of the bathtub. It's really cute. Unnecessary, but I like it a lot. Oh, and one thing I almost forgot to point out, there's actually a piece in this set that came broken. This one. I'm pretty sure it came like this. It's not that big of an issue. I hope everyone who gets this set has better luck than I did. Also, there was a piece that I remember that actually looked dirty, but thankfully, I was able to hide it, so it's not that big of a deal, and it's not like it was gross. It just looked like it was spray painted or something. It didn't feel like anything, it didn't feel like ketchup or anything like that, but that still felt important to note. But I don't think that's any issue on Area X's end. Something I completely forgot to mention. This comes with a roof. Though the miscolored Gary's food bowl, it's the stock art where it's purple, which I guess makes sense, but it's not accurate. Also, why isn't it down here or in the living room or even in the kitchen? It's something minor, but still just something I'd point out. Actually, I'm gonna turn this off for the sake of battery preservation. Another thing I completely forgot to bring up, there's some Easter eggs on the back of SpongeBob's house. Comes with a frying pan for some reason. I don't know why that's there. There's also a trash bag, which does make more sense. And it comes with a mat, which has a little key, which is a nice reference to SpongeBob's house party. Though I will say, I wish the mat itself says ahoy for no reason other than the fact that in the white label era of SpongeBob merchandise, there was always a Nick Knowledge section where it just says that SpongeBob's mat says ahoy. Now, let's compare it to some stuff. Okay, the first comparison is the Mega Block SpongeBob set Bad Neighbors of the pineapple itself. Though it probably has one of my least favorite interiors. It's just, it doesn't have anything. There's literally nothing. All it really has is this thing where you can put SpongeBob in and like launch jellyfish. That was something that Mega Bloks was like obsessed with, launching jellyfish. Oh, speaking of which, I really do not like how the jellyfish were rubber, because this is falling apart at the seams. It did not age well. So in terms of exterior, I might like this one better than this, solely because you can build it, but this one is more accurate. I don't know. Both of them are really different. And unfortunately, I don't have the Lego SpongeBobs to compare it to. However, if I were to compare this to any Lego SpongeBob set, it would be Good Neighbors at Bikini Bottom. It basically has almost everything that you'd want from a Lego SpongeBob set. Plus, it's also a set that only features the pineapple. Which makes sense because I'm sure if this had Squidward's and Patrick's houses, it would be kind of overpriced. And for the last and probably fitting comparison, the Jim R pineapple. I covered this a long time ago, and unfortunately since then, it has not aged the greatest. But it has a similar premise of a molded pineapple shape, mostly built leaves, and an interior. I say out of all the like interiors of all the sets, of all the pineapple, I say I'd probably put this one in second place and this one at number 1. But the main downside with this one is just how fragile it is. I don't like it. Once I figure out a way to reposition stuff, I will definitely be replacing this with this, because this is just a better display piece in every way, especially since this one has seen better days. And for the smaller Jamor set that I've also covered, and the Snap and Switch SpongeBob pineapples, I'll be real, I don't know where they are right now. And to add on to that, I don't even think they're good enough to be compared to this. They're just tiny, affordable pineapples compared to this not so affordable, better quality one. I would compare it to the Area X Krusty Krab, but, well, this green screen is kind of cluttered right now, so I'll just leave it here. I might like the Area X Krusty Krab a little better, solely because you can build the exterior. Plus, it gave me less issues. I think the only issue I remember having is one set of pieces that just won't go down, no matter how hard I try to connect them. While I was here, I had to fix this base 6 or 7 times and probably more. It is super fragile. But if you are a big SpongeBob fan and wanting something to fill that Lego SpongeBob void that all of us have been experiencing, then first off, watch my What If Lego SpongeBob Had a Comeback video, and maybe consider getting the set, because I think this is as good as it's gonna get for a while. I say out of all the modern SpongeBob building sets, I think Area X has been doing the best job. The main downside is some pieces not clicking, and the fact that it's a China exclusive. Why can't this be in the US? Like, I'm happy I'm able to, like, order them online, but still a little sad. But what do you think of this pineapple? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Are you mixed on it? Comment below. Also, I'm curious on if Area X is gonna do a big set again, or if they're gonna stick to the smaller sets now. Would they build Squidward's house? Would they make Squidward's and Patrick's house? I feel like if they did do that, they would have to combine the two, or leave Patrick evicted. But I don't know, would they do that? I'm really curious on what big set they would do. Because, like, I know there's, like, a bunch of smaller sets based on certain key locations of the show. But, well, they made 2 pineapple ones, as you saw in the instructions, so that didn't stop them from making this pineapple. But this is where I'm going to wrap things up when it comes to the Area X pineapple house. If you only came here for the pineapple, then you can just go. But if you want to see all the other stuff in my collection, then feel free to stick around. There's a ton of SpongeBob stuff. Okay, the first non-Area X thing I'm gonna showcase is something that is very thin. I went back to Minnesota and got one of these jam arm mystery things. I've already opened this, so I'm just gonna show you what was inside. It just came with this little build based on the episode Enchanted Tiki Dreams. I'm pretty sure this is the exact or a similar outfit to the one he wore in there. I don't like how his feet don't show there though. It just looks like he has very long pants. Unfortunately, there's not much here, but I wasn't expecting much if I'm being honest. I just thought it'd be just a cute little side build to do. But I think the bigger sets are better. Plus, you can fit them in here, which is very convenient. Next up is something that I find really, really cool. I found this flying Dutchman at Box Lunch. You know, I always think about like what niche characters have gotten a plush and what haven't. Like how Pearl and Mrs. Puff are like impossible to get right now, and the only Larry the Lobster is like $100, and there's no Karen listing either. All of the gal pals are like gone, just wiped out of existence. When I was talking about this with Kasper, we kept saying how like a Flying Dutchman plush would be really cool, but we didn't expect anything to happen until Search for SquarePants comes out, which does happen at the very end of this year, so I'm hella excited. But I wasn't expecting them to make a Flying Dutchman plush until then, because you know with the theatrical movies they will go all out, but this is a cute Dutchman plush. It's really neat. It's probably the best Flying Dutchman anything right now. It is interesting how he's holding a little SpongeBob, though I kind of wish it was a Velcro instead. But it's still cute, though I don't really understand his ghostly tail. It kind of looks like a bump. Typically in the show it's like straight, so I don't get it. But other than that, this is a great translation of the Dutchman in plush form. Speaking of plushes, another character that never got a plush until now, Bubble Bass. This is my very first U2's item. What an interesting start. I've seen a lot of these plushes at Spencer's. I must say, the Plankton plush is so uncharacteristically cute, but Bubble Bass is translated decently well. He is permanently sitting, and this part isn't that comfortable to hold, but I think these are more like display plushes and less cuddle plushes. He's like crossing his arms. I only really have two critiques with this. First off, his head is pretty big. I feel like they should have like shrunk his head a little bit because he just has like a massive forehead. And second, I wish they incorporated like the U2's branding more subtly. For instance, I know on most SpongeBob U2s, they typically use this as like a highlight in their eyes, which I personally think is a better way of doing things. Because here, it looks like he's squinting, which doesn't make any sense because his eyelids are resting like this. So it kind of makes my head hurt just thinking, how the hell is he doing both at the same time? But to all of you Bubble Bass fans, I would recommend. Even though he's kind of a little overused in the show right now, I do like that he finally gets some plush toy rep. And I hope we get more like obscure characters in the future, or even re-releases of other ones. Like, it would be awesome to have like a Squilliam plush or a Neptune plush. Maybe Bubble Buddy if that's possible. Or give us another Pearl and Mrs. Puff. Or Karen. They're characters that deserve it. Especially Karen. Give us like a cute little U2's plush or something of just Karen and Plankton. I would buy that. Now let's discuss some non-SpongeBob stuff that I've gotten. When I went to Miniso, I found this really cute We Bare Bears packaging. And my honest first reaction was, oh my goodness, they still release We Bare Bears? I love We Bare Bears. So I felt like I had to get this. Because the only other things I've gotten were the Sonic toys, and I didn't think those were great. Sonic toys honestly suck. But I got Panda. He's really cute. It's not like the best material. It's kind of like a rubbery, but you know, it's cute. And with We Bare Bears, it doesn't have to be like the highest quality thing ever, but it comes with some stickers and I'm probably not gonna use. This one says Panda. This one says cute. This is a bunch of shapes. I feel like this is a reference to something. I don't know. And we also got a bunch of donuts. I honestly love this. And one thing that I really appreciate is how each bear has equal representation, with 2 ice bears, 2 pandas, and 2 grizzlies. It would be cool to get some other characters like Chloe and... I'm blanking on his name, but the one Lorax looking guy and the ranger. But I understand why they didn't include them, because let's be honest, the bears are more marketable. And the last thing on my Miniso list, I got this My Melody and Chromie thing, because honestly, this box art just looks really cool. They're like Very fancy. And there's 6 to collect, just like with the We Bare Bears one. I like how all of them get equal rep. But I ended up getting my Melody, specifically the one on the box. And look at how cute she is. I love her blush. I love her outfit. The material looks really good too. It's almost looks like glass. I would have mistaken this for a ceramic figure. Not much to say on this, honestly. It just has great attention to detail. Also, when I was at Hot Topic the other day, I found this My Melody Nano block. You know, it's simple, but it gets the job done. I am not used to these small of pieces though. This is smaller than the typical Lego brick, which is why they're called nano blocks. But I am actually in a Lego group right now, and I've actually told them about this set that I've made, and I saw a few of their sets, a few of nano block sets, and they're really cute. I especially want the Miku one. But this is where I'm gonna end things off. Which item was your favorite? Feel free to comment below. And as always, it's all set from here. Hello random person, Sab Nino here. Welcome to the first collab hour in a while. Today I am joined by the real Daria. Totally. Totally the real Daria.
100%.
The real name's Kasper. We're gonna be opening up a Daria figurine today. I'm so good at this. Before we unbox it, want to see my Daria collection?
Sure.
I got the Daria DVD.
Nice.
It's a complete set. The bonus features are actually really cool on this.
Oh, wow.
The discs are the characters, all 5 seasons, and both of the movies, which not even Paramount Plus has.
That's crazy. I don't think I've seen the movies.
But it shows like a bunch of concept art, like of the characters. It has like a music video with Trent's band.
That's cool.
And lastly, I got Funko Pops, because for a while, these were the only things we had. This is Jody, who was gonna have a spin-off movie, but that got scrapped.
Rude.
Jane Lane, and there's Daria Morgendorfer, which we're gonna be unboxing today. That's my collection. I had a Daria shirt, but I think I lost it.
Darn.
Otherwise, I would have worn that.
Dude, I want her jacket.
This is the box as you saw in the beginning. I love this box art. It's really
It's so cool.
I think it perfectly encapsulates Daria and Jane as characters.
And we got a special guest waiting for the unboxing.
Dusty.
And this one.
I actually found out in like some sort of article that the creator of Daria actually showcased what the characters are like years later, like as adults. And apparently Daria has a cat that is actually toilet trained.
Wow. Like actual toilet?
Yeah.
That's weird.
I guess Daria just had too much time on her hands.
She's like, I don't want to pay for litter.
Here's everything inside the box. Oh shit, I forgot to point this out, but the box actually has a Velcro.
Oh, whoa.
You can actually display the figures inside. That's a really nice touch.
I didn't even realize that.
So if you don't want to take it out of the box, you can still display it.
Yeah, but they're all covered in plastic. We just got arm pieces, severed heads.
Ah yes, my favorite. Severed heads. My favorite kind of heads are the ones that are severed. First order of business, we have Daria Morgendorfer. This looks so cool. This is easily the best Daria figure in my collection, and probably period. I don't think there's any other Daria figures.
Well, this is
than the
the
Funko
only
Pops.
figure in my collection. Besties.
We're besties. Hi, I'm Daria. Go to hell. Not a lot of arm articulation, but that's okay. It kind of looks like she
Who wants a hug?
hugs. Hugs. I love these. The faces look really good. They look like the characters. They're like stylized to look like the show because there's not a lot of extra detail. And this is what Daria looks like without her glasses. I wish you can put these glasses on Jane though.
Yeah, but her hair's kind of in the way.
They're kind of hard to get the glasses back on. The holes are very small, but it is possible.
Kind of weird without her glasses.
And this is Jane Lane. Jane also looks really cool. I'm actually surprised on how well Jane looks in 3D.
More so than Daria.
Her design kind of looks like two-dimensional. Like there's some depth to it, but it definitely seemed more flat than Daria's, so I'm pleasantly surprised. Now, kiss.
We are adults.
We are adults.
Her jacket like goes up a little bit, trying to get her arms out.
Yeah, you're right. The collar thingy
Yeah.
kind of stops the arms. There's a bunch of accessories too.
Yeah.
For instance, we have this Jane Lane head where she's more smiling. There's the same variant for Daria.
It kind of works.
They're smiling heads, so it'll look creepy.
Yeah.
Are you scared yet? You
Terrifying.
scared? We really are in Daria's Inferno. There's also a limited edition version of this where it comes with Jane with messy hair, Daria but her original Beavis and Butthead design, and the thing that I would have loved, Jane flipping the bird.
I don't think I can put her head on back on with just one hand.
Dang it. I didn't think about that.
Me either.
I'm just putting on the happy heads. They're so happy.
Happy.
Happy, happy. Joy, joy. There's also these buddy arms, which I will attach on now. This shouldn't be this hard.
There we go. Got her glasses on.
I'm trying to get the arms on.
Jane's head is harder to take off.
Okay, I got Daria's arm on. Now I just need Jane. Okay, Jane was much easier to put on than Daria's. With Daria, I had to take off her head.
Oh no. I just got her head back on.
Here they are. Let's slightly tilt them. They're friends. This is actually a reference to the musical episode.
And they got their arms locked.
Yeah, they did this exact pose in that episode. That's why they put this in the set. They were singing about, like, a rain cloud. Honestly, the musical episode is very entertaining, though none of the characters can sing.
What I feel when I sing. It's definitely entertaining, but it's not good.
Okay, I'm returning their heads back to normal. Those were creepy.
I got their arms.
They're so cute.
It's difficult for me to get Jane's head off.
Oh, damn.
Here. That works.
Double-headed Jane. I love double-headed Jane. The best Jane.
Yeah, perfect.
Oh, we're already getting into Cursed Abomination territory. Why is Daria's arms much harder to get into their sockets than Jane? Oh, something I didn't notice until now, but Jane actually has some outlines on her collar. That's a nice touch.
Oh, that's neat. And on her sleeves.
That's really cool. It adds to the 2D feel.
Yeah.
I like how they maintain the style of the show, but not to the point where it feels cheap. I think you get your money's worth, which is a good thing because I actually bought it twice on accident.
Which is why I have one.
Yeah, look, I didn't want it to go to waste. You also like Daria.
Yeah, I mean, I'm the one who got you into Daria.
No, that was Twitter.
Oh.
Now we have some Jane arms. These are like holding arms. There's also a radio. This was something that Kasper showed off earlier. There's like this cool radio design.
I think there's like some CDs in there, too.
Yeah, from Mystic Spiral. There's some Mystic Spiral CDs. The downside is that...
Shoot, I forgot about these glasses.
The downside is that they can't really hold on super well.
This is a mood. Now we really are in Daria's Inferno.
Are we just here just to suffer?
More arms. I feel like I'm playing Jenga with these. Oh man, I lost.
You lost Jenga Daria edition. Jane also comes with a camera. Very fitting.
Beautiful.
The figures also come with a stand. It's a very basic stand for both of them. They actually stand up pretty well on their own, probably because all I have are flat surfaces. But if you need to like display them on like a carpet or something, then I'm not sure why you have them on a carpet, but that should be a good alternative.
Their feet have holes.
Sounds painful. And Daria comes with the iconic cross arms.
You could put Daria's arm on Jane, maybe. It would look weird, but I'm already doing Cursed Abomination stuff.
You know what? Sure. Let's try it.
Feeling like I'm gonna break them trying to get their arms out.
Okay.
Oh, we got her head off.
I'm scared. It's Jaria Lorgendorfer. Oh my god! Come on, Dane, Maine. join me in the Daria's Inferno.
No, her head doesn't want to go.
We shall take over the world, because that's totally a motivation we had in the show. Oh my fucking god!
I mean, if you swap the heads, it's just basically them wearing each other's outfit.
It's still kind of funny though.
Yeah.
I love these cursed abominations we're making though.
The heads are more difficult because their neck things are different size.
Ah shit, you're right.
It's kind of rude.
Like, Jane's head fits like a glove on Daria's body, but Daria on Jane's body is more like... no?
Yeah. It's not working.
So wobbly. Legend has it that this is the first thing you see before you die. The last thing, I mean.
The first thing you see.
That is hilarious.
Oh.
They're so happy together. Oh, there's also no leg articulation on these, which I suppose makes sense.
I think Dusty likes them.
Yes, join our Daria cult.
Dusty totally has a Jane Lane personality, and then Spooky is just spooky.
Okay, I stripped away all of the nightmare. They actually look sane. Oh my god, still playing Daria Jenga?
Yes, and I'm failing.
The base plate says 2024. The original show ended in like 2001, I think, so the fact that they're still making merchandise impresses me.
Yeah.
Yet they canceled the Jody spinoff.
Just to make merch.
Honestly, I would have been satisfied with a Daria revival.
Definitely still hits in 2025.
So overall,
10 out of 10 cursifiable. Well, maybe like 8 out of 10 because her heads don't really switch.
yeah, I'd honestly give it an 8 out of 10 too. They're great display pieces. If you are a Daria fan, I would highly recommend it. If I had a nickel for every time we made a Daria video together,
Well, I mean, we could always make more Daria and Bruno videos too.
I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice.
More disembowelment jokes.
Can we go through one video without mentioning disembowelment?
I'll make sure to bring it up every video continuing.
Thank you, Daria, for introducing us to our ongoing joke.
Obviously, we're totally fine.
I seriously love your tower.
I'm gonna like topple everything by
It's
trying
like
to
an
get her glasses
abstract
on.
painting. I could see this in a museum.
I love these. Thank you.
I'm so grateful I was able to send it to you.
Merry Christmas.
You're welcome. Merry Christmas. Although it's January 8th as of the time we're recording this. So what do you guys think of this figure? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Are you mixed on it? Would you get it for yourself if you had the money? Comment below.
I feel like to hate it just for this monstrosity. Anyway.
With all that said, it's all SAB from here. Hello random person, SAB Nino here. Welcome back to SAB Merch Odyssey. Today we are going to be talking about more Area X sets. So before I check them out, I just wanted to bring up how one of the distributors of the Area X SpongeBob line actually reached out to me personally. I'll show the company's name on screen, but they saw my pineapple video and told me that there are plans of putting all of these sets on Amazon. Right now, the Krusty Krab is on there, and in my Area X Krusty Krab video, I did put the Amazon link in the description. And as of the time of me recording this, they said that they should have the pineapple on there soon. But if the line does really well on Amazon, they are planning on putting more of the sets on there. And they actually offered to give me some of the sets, but unfortunately, I ended up buying the line that I'm gonna be talking about today on AliExpress already. But going forward, if you're watching this and still want to give me review copies of stuff, I would be all for reviewing these sets and showcasing them and promoting them for you. Enough stalling, I just thought that was pretty big. Just wanted to start off the video just discussing that, but let's talk about the sets. Unlike the other Area X sets that I have gotten, it comes with a box. This is the Good Friends line, and this one is SpongeBob's house. There's like a space between square and pants. I don't know what's that all about. I love the flute image. That's very uncommon. Too bad Gary actually can't do that in this set. Here's the infamous I'm SpongeBob stalker, and there's no printing at the top other than the logos. This will change on the other boxes. One thing I find really cool is that for the seal of approval, they actually give the characters a driver's license. The first time I saw this, I thought they got rid of SpongeBob's age. like his birthday, but no, it's still on there. So SpongeBob is probably in his 30s. Also, is this meant to be Imagination Box? Cause it says Inspiration Box. Is it called the Inspiration Box in China? Feel free to comment below. And for the instructions, it has a QR code, and it just advertises all the sets they had at the time. Speaking of which, our first set. Each of these sets comes with these little dome things, these little cubicles, which are really cool for display. And the best part of this is that you can actually stack them on top of each other, but you can lift this up. Oops. If you've seen my Area X Pineapple review, then this is almost identical to what was shown in that set. It has the same Gary build, it has almost the same bed build. The main difference is that it doesn't come with a charger this time. It has this door build, but it doesn't open up, which I would have preferred. We even have a miscolored Gary's food bowl. I think the only thing that's really different is this wall and this plaza area, which wasn't in the Area X Pineapple, but I really love the use of the 2x2s for his pants. And I also like how these ones are his PJs. I say if you can't afford the huge Area X Pineapple, then I would recommend this as an alternative. Oh, and the first 4 in this line comes with a spring, which is a cute gimmick, but the downside is that they're very fragile and hard to put on. As I've said in the Area X Pineapple set, this could just be a skill issue, but it has been difficult for me to put these springs on. But thankfully, there are ways to display this without the springs, so at least they're not mandatory. It also comes with this little compartment. There's actually specific things that you should put in here, but honestly, I just use this compartment to put all the spare pieces into, since if not in here, then it would just be in a spare bag, and I just think this would be more convenient. Overall, this is pretty good though. Obviously, the big pineapple's better, but this is a nice, cheaper alternative. Next up is the Krusty Krab, the finest eating establishment ever established for eating. I probably should showcase the boxes. They have some really cool stuff on them. There's this nice greenery. Nothing on this side. This is just naked. So your attention is really meant to be on these corners. Well, let's open this bad boy. Oh, off the bat, it's kind of falling apart. These tables are actually springs, which I suppose is a cool concept, but honestly, they don't really need to be springs. I do really enjoy the SpongeBob minifigure. I like the different expression he has. It really differentiates him from the actual Krusty Krab set. I love all these little Easter eggs up here. It was interesting how this is the Krabby Patty formula. I thought there was something in this pink one, but there's jelly, there's the secret sauce, there's mayo, there's the galley grub. The one thing I find kind of bizarre is that the customers are fish. Like, not the background fish, but just normal generic fish. They tried coloring them in SpongeBob colors, but that's still kind of an odd choice. Also, it comes with a secret compartment with a shit ton of money, because of course. Honestly, this is also another nice alternative to the big Area X Krusty Krab. Though, I should say, something I just found out is that there's actually a $60 version of it, but honestly, the only thing that's really stopping me from highly recommending it is the lack of minifigures. But if it had minifigures, then I say it would have been a nice alternative. Just give us the Krusty Crew. Just add SpongeBob, Squidward, and Mr. Krabs, and you'll be all set. Also, the Mr. Krabs figure looks really good. So this is before they fixed this little thing where, like, the eyelashes are the same color as his torso. They did fix this later on. Also, this is kind of like a manufacturing issue, but the eyes and the hands kind of have to peel off of like a plastic thing, and the way they put the little screws on the eyes makes it so these red things are showing. Personally, I wish they found a way to not have it be like this, so you can still have that green part in. But again, this is a decent alternative to that massive Area X Krusty Krab. Plus, it's an iconic location, so of course it would be in this line. Also, the walls are a different color, I'm pretty sure. I'll show the original walls on screen. I almost forgot to showcase the gimmick. These can stack. Also, here's the side of the pineapple house just so you see it. But this is very display friendly. The one thing I've noticed from the Amazon reviews, which I think would be pretty important to point out, a lot of people were kind of disappointed that they can't really play with these. I can definitely see that, but from the Krusty Krab and the pineapple and even this line, it definitely feels like they are aimed more at people who grew up with SpongeBob. I'm not saying this is inappropriate for any Lego builders like younger than adults, but there are a lot more tricky techniques. I've actually hurt my hands a few times when building these, so I just thought I'd bring that up just for something to keep in mind if you plan on getting this. Oh, and the Krusty Krab box looks pretty cool. I love this seaweed aqua color. This is really cute. Still no top printing, but that will change. Oh, and here's Mr. Krabs' ID. I'm surprised it doesn't say Eugene Krabs. Oh, I think the inspiration box is just saying that this Good French set is the inspiration box. That would make a lot of sense. Next up is Patrick's house. One of the many sets that doesn't have a bigger alternative to them. That could change. In the pineapple set, I sort of questioned if they do Squidward's house, would they include Patrick's Rock there or have it be its own set? Because I could see it going both ways. I'm guessing they would just put Squidward's and Patrick's houses next to each other just to raise the price, and probably because of the mindset of, oh, no one wants to buy a rock, which I call bullshit. Here is Patrick's ID, and one thing I find really interesting is that it showcases Patrick's birthday. It says here he's born on August 17th, 1984, which means that he is probably a Leo, just like me, and is 2 years older than SpongeBob. That is some really cool trivia. But anyway, Patrick's Rock. This decor is really cute. I love this star piece of gum, I believe it is. I'm not sure what that is, probably a shell. The SpongeBob and Patrick minifigures look really good. I love SpongeBob's excited expression, and Patrick's face is sort of similar to the one he had in the Krusty Krab set, but I honestly like this one better. It's less creepy. But there's some jellyfish jelly here. I'm gonna move SpongeBob so you can see the frames here. He has a sand TV as well, which is really nice. And probably my favorite Easter egg of the set, they include all of these licenses as a reference to the episode Farmer Bob. They're not really accurate, and I wish they actually showed the photos from those episodes, but perhaps he has more licenses than we let on. I also like how they incorporated the crushed can and sock. I like to think of it as a reference to Battle for Bikini Bottom, but I doubt it is. And this one has a spring too, which works. But the downside is that I couldn't get Patrick's springs to work. I was trying to put him into his little stubby stubs, but I pressed too hard and it just flew away, so I lost it. And even when I was trying to do it with one foot, it couldn't really balance, and it was difficult putting them in. So if you want to include the springs on Patrick, please be careful. But again, I'm happy they make the springs optional. Honestly, out of all the interpretations of Patrick's Rock, I don't have the snap and switch one, but the exterior of that one looks pretty decent, I won't lie. But this interior is really good. It's honestly pretty amazing how they took something as boring as sand and turned it into a really good building set. And for the last set of Wave 1, Squidward Tentacles House. I'm just showcasing the box. Really cool. Interesting how they call them inspiration boxes. And here's Squidward's driver's license. It says his birthday is October 9th, 1977. So he's in his 40s, I think. I wonder if they got these from the wiki. But here's Squidward's Easter Island head. I guess the only downside I really have, from a display perspective, is that this cuts off. If you look really closely, the outline of this part of Squidward's house isn't visible. So I sort of wish they either made it bigger or drew a little outline on there. That's what I would have done. But it's no big deal, and it's something that not a lot of people would even notice. I just critique stuff that probably shouldn't even be critiqued. Here's SpongeBob with a little microphone. I like how casual his face looks. And Squidward has the same minifigure from the Big Krusty Krab set, which is a shame. I wish they gave him a new headpiece. Also, he has a piano for some reason, which is a little odd since there is no clarinet to be seen in this entire set. He has the self-portraits, and it shows that he is a musician, but it doesn't show his iconic instrument. They don't even have anything on the shelves. They could have at least put it there, so that's kind of a shame. The piano build is really cool, but when did Squidward ever get a piano? I'm sure there's probably an episode where he was on a piano, but for a display piece it is really cool, and I like the handsome Squidward. I am not surprised that that's the most dominant one, but hey, it is a piece in Squidward's collection, so I ain't gonna fault them for including some meme culture in there, especially since it's very fitting. Also, for some reason, Squidward just has a lot of awards down here. I highly doubt he won those. Those were probably SpongeBob's leftovers. Okay, wave 1 is done. Now let's go on to wave 2. I like how the box sort of tells a story. I like that. So it's basically the same gimmick as the other boxes, except this one showcases the 2.0 set. But one thing I really enjoy is how they added like a little pattern on the top of this. It's very hard to see, but it's meant to be Karen's screen. Also, one thing I'm kind of disappointed in is that they don't go with the license gimmick. Instead, we just have these playing cards, which they still look cool, but I just think the license gimmick was a lot better. Especially since you get to learn about the characters' birthdays. I don't know. Maybe that was the reason why they scrapped it. But you didn't have to include the birthdays. I would have been satisfied with just the licenses. It's a cool gimmick. It was very SpongeBob. But here's the third ever buildable chum bucket. You'd think there'd be more, but no, there's only 3. And with Wave 2.0, they started changing how they build things. For instance, instead of lifting the entire thing, you can open it up like this. Also, this comes with a neat play feature. You can lift this garage, and you can move SpongeBob like this as he's brainwashed. You can see his brain right here. He almost looks like Mojo Jojo. We also have Karen. She's kind of cute. Very tall, but really cute. The downside is that you can't really move her arms without this breaking, so I wish this top section had more stability. Also, Plankton is practically the same build as all the other times we have built him so far, since the minifigures sort of do their own thing, so Plankton sort of feels cheap by comparison. Also, I love how this monitor has like a reference to Plankton's army where it says Sheldon. It also comes with this little like black scribble thing from Plankton's good eye. That's what Karen used when Karen thinks Plankton is going evil. And honestly, this set is really cool. Though I will say I had a really hard time connecting these. I definitely failed, but it definitely gets the job done. I think I did as good as I could. But honestly, I think this is probably the best chum bucket build, period. I might even like it better than Lego. The next one is kind of an odd choice, but we have good friends SpongeBob's house. Again, this time it's the secret Krusty Krab from Band in Bikini Bottom, and the top has cool Krabby Patty printing. I will say, this card does look cool. It does differentiate it from the Series 1 SpongeBob, but I still miss the licenses. If they were afraid of reusing stuff, then for the SpongeBob set, I honestly would have given him his milkshake license. Would have been a nice Easter egg. But here is the secret Krusty Krab. What does this say? Oh, it says welcome. I wish they made the font bigger though. Keep it secret, keep it safe. It comes with this photo album. It comes with Gary, who is just serving. Okay, this doesn't make any sense. It has mayo, but what's next to him is peanut butter. I appreciate the reference, but that's just very weird, because peanut butter is not on a Krabby Patty. And it's hard to see, but the volcanic hot sauce is also on the TV. Plankton's here. I put him here, but he's meant to be inside the Krabby Patty. I just am having a hard time doing that. Also, one thing I completely forgot to bring up. The springs are completely gone in Wave 2. There are no springs, and honestly, I prefer that. They're kind of unneeded anyway. But SpongeBob's figure, for some reason, has a bow tie. I actually didn't know that until I actually got him, but hey, it's some nice outfit variety. Also, this background fish is different than the one in the huge Krusty Krab, but the main difference is just his clothes. His head's practically the same. I wish they had back printing on his shirt, because it looks like he's just revealing his back, but oh well. It also opens up like this. And we have Barry from Skill Crane. I'll be honest, I would have included the Confess-A-Bear from Pink Furloiner, since we already have Barry from the Krusty Krab set, but it's no big deal. Also, I like the walls of this set a lot better than I do the walls in the huge Pineapple set because, well, it's color accurate. Also, you can slide Gary, similar to the Chum Bucket with SpongeBob. It's not necessary, but I appreciate the inclusion. Oh, and before I forget, they've actually colored Gary's food bowl right this time. For a while, they made it like pink or purple to coincide with the stock art, but this is actually the color they should have used. So good going, Area X. Next up, I can't believe they actually found a way to incorporate Sandy's tree dome. Though it's sort of bizarre how SpongeBob is kind of afraid of Sandy. I don't know what's up with that. The top has these acorn patterns. We also have the Sandy card. I really wish Sandy had like an ID like the rest of them. I want to know her birthday. I'll probably look it up afterwards. But yeah, here's Sandy's tree dome. It's just a bunch of greenery. I love the karate gloves. Honestly, I sort of wish they went the karate angle with this set because although I really love this display piece, and the fact that we finally have a tree dome set, the scenario they've chosen is very, very bizarre because they feature it in Sandy's lab. Also, why does she have a skeleton there? Did she kill somebody? We also have this plate. I'm guessing over here is a Rubik's Cube, and there's also a butterfly, which I'd like to think of as an intentional reference to Wormy, even though the colors aren't correct. But it's weird how SpongeBob is like Sandy's test monkey in this, and he's like obviously frightened by this. It almost feels like they got Plankton and Sandy in reverse. But I do know why they did this. In the episode Planet of the Jellyfish, there was a scene where Sandy does have SpongeBob hostage like this, but that actually makes sense in the context of the episode to make sure that SpongeBob wasn't a jelly in it, but here, I don't even know the context, if there really isn't. But one thing I do appreciate about this set is how, well, first off, we got our first Tree Dome Sandy. Though, one thing I don't like about it is the way they printed this, like her cheek area, because there's like an obvious seam here. I don't think that was an issue on the pineapple one, but if you really wanted to, you can actually swap out the parts and have her wear her normal suit, which is really cool. So final verdict, what the fuck, this looks kinky, but it's really cool. I still like it, and is a pretty big milestone because we have never gotten a Tree Dome set up to this point, and they managed to find a way to make it work. I might even say this Good Friends inspiration boxes is honestly perfect for the Tree Dome because it's already in like a glass container. Well, it's plastic, but it's transparent, just like the Tree Dome. So this almost looks like the dome, which is awesome. And last but not least, we have our first ever Mr. Krabs' house. Unfortunately, the box came damaged, so that kind of sucks. But again, I really like how it tries telling a story with the box. There's actually a huge improvement over Wave 1, the actual, like, storytelling. Also on this frame, I love how it's Mr. Krabs SpongeBob is all the sets. If they ever do a Wave 3, I wonder what they do for it. And on top, it's obviously money, because of course it'd be money. He loves money. And we have the Mr. Krabs card. Again, if they were afraid of the repetition of the IDs, hell, they could have picked the one with the mustache, just as an Easter egg. But here is Mr. Krabs' anger. Honestly, there's not much to this, but there doesn't need to be much. Though for some reason this shell isn't closing on me, but in the instruction it says to close it, so oh well. Unfortunately, Mr. Krabs is sharing the same face as the Krusty Krab from the previous set, except this time they actually fixed his eyelashes. They still have that manufacturing error, but it's not as bad as last time. Though here's probably the weirdest direction of the set, the SpongeBob minifigure. Why is he in his underwear in this set in particular? He's just almost naked at his boss's house. I really hope they're not referencing behind closed doors with this one, because things don't go well for SpongeBob in the end. But for the first ever Mr. Krabs' anchor, they did really good. I love the color choices. I really love how it looks cluttered and sort of messy. It really leans into his navy roots. I'm a little sad that they couldn't fit in the Dollarama though, but it's no big deal. I love how they include the hammock instead of cheaping out to a bed, which he has had in some episodes. Also, Plankton's just here, which is very interesting because typically Plankton's a piece and not a sticker, but that was the last thing in the set. Here's the entirety of the Goods Friends inspiration boxes. Overall, even though a lot of them aren't perfect and some of the gimmicks are a little odd, they're still really good display pieces and are a great cheaper alternative to people who can't afford the bigger, more expensive sets. They don't have this entire line on Amazon right now, but I will definitely see if I can get a link to these two. I know these two are on Amazon as we speak, and I would recommend them, even if I think the rest of the line is much cooler. And I really do hope that they do end up on Amazon, because if they manage to get all the sets on Amazon, I'd honestly start buying them there. Also, due to the distributor who reached out to me, I am deeply sorry that this particular line didn't work out. I unfortunately already have them in the mail, but if you get more sets onto Amazon and want to send me review copies, feel free to reach out to me. I'll be sure to keep on a lookout and we can definitely arrange something. But to you guys, my random people, which of these sets are your favorite? Do you like this method of building bricks? Is there any locations you'd love to see in this format, or any of these that you'd love to see as a bigger set? Comment below, let's start a discussion. And as always, it's all Sab from here. Hello random person, Sab Nino here. A while back, I made a video discussing all of the Snap and Switch sets at the time, and since then, they have made a ton more since that video. So I thought, why not go over the sets again, almost a year later, and see how well they hold up. I mainly did this to ask a question that I've had for a while, which was I too harsh on the Snap and Switch sets? Obviously they're not as good as Area X or anything like that, but do they stand on their own? And that's what I'm trying to figure out. So let's start with the set that started it all, the Pineapple. I'll also discuss the minifigures as well. I just wanted to have it on the screen for the intro so it wasn't boring. But this is pretty much almost an exact replica of the Mega Bloks minifigure. It's like the same mold, though the back printing is a lot weaker, so I wish they fixed that. The color is more accurate to the stock art, and the one thing I will say, I wish they gave SpongeBob more face variety, or like gave him another set of eyes, similar to the Miniso Trendy sound line. Yeah, for a while I kept calling them Jamor because that was on the Amazon listing, but I did find out that the actual name of that brand is Trendy Sound. So my apologies for spreading misinformation for so long. But yeah, I would have given them like happy eyes, maybe like a different face, just for the sake of variety and to take advantage of the fact that these eyes do come off. But for the Pineapple itself, it is definitely based on the Lego SpongeBob. It's like the same mechanics of like starting off flat and then curving them in on one another. The leaves are the exact same piece. They even do a similar thing with the windows, except they're stickers, which I think is a massive downgrade. I don't really think the stickers really look that good, though I have a feeling that's just because I did a shitty job of applying them, but I don't know, I think these should have been printed so they looked better. And the interior doesn't have much, unfortunately. Like, I appreciate the decor via the use of stickers, but unfortunately there's not much here. I know they re-released this and they added some furniture, like buildable furniture, and they do have the flowers on the sides of that one, which I really enjoy. Though I'll be real, I'm not sure if I want to spend an extra $5 for that one. Also, this doesn't have a chimney, which is inaccurate. And another thing that kind of bothers me is that, why is this green? They should have made it like a red color, like the Lego sets, but it's green and I don't know why. But that's a pretty big nitpick For a display piece, it's definitely not the best pineapple out there, but if you want something that you could play with, then unfortunately this is severely lacking. The next iconic location is the Krusty Krab, and this one comes with 2 minifigures. There's Mr. Krabs, which is, again, almost an exact replica of Mega Bloks, just with more stock art colors. He translated pretty well, and Plankton's the same, though I honestly like the color of the Mega Bloks one more, and I would have gone with a better face, honestly. I never really liked this face, I'll be blunt. I think Mega Bloks have made better Plankton faces than this, but oh well. In terms of the Krusty Krab itself, for a cheaper alternative of the Krusty Krab, I think it does okay. I do like the sign. I like how they actually made it a shell, which is something that the Trendy Sound Miniso line didn't do, which absolutely sucks. And even though it only has 3 flags, I get it for this kind of build. I'm surprised they didn't make it a sticker though. The one thing that bothers me that they did fix in a remake, this clear piece. I don't get what's up with that. The clear section right here, making it look like the window is much bigger than it is. I would have made it a brown piece, but again, I think they fixed that. Also, the interior is absolutely nothing to write home about. Instead of building the tables and chairs, they made them stickers, which I always thought was very lame, but I'm pretty sure they fixed that in the re-release of this. Also, it's sort of sad that the characters can't really fit through the doors of these, but oh well. I do think this is a better display piece than the pineapple, but it is still lacking in a few areas. And again, there's not really a lot of play features with this. Here's Squidward's Easter Island head. Just like with all the rest, the figure of Squidward is basically just a Mega Bloks line, just slightly tweaked to make it their own. Also, he lacks eyebrows, which is very distracting, and they never fixed this. The only other set that he's in is a Snap and Switch set with the pineapple and Squidward's house, which comes with a bubble stand, which is a nice touch, though they never fixed the eyebrow there, which is a little distracting. I haven't said this in the video, but I like how this Squidward house does its own thing instead of taking direct inspiration from Lego or Mega Bloks. This is more comparable to Mega Bloks, especially with this. It does easily come off like in Mega Bloks, but that's because in Mega Bloks you can knock it down. That was a play feature, but the color is definitely the most accurate here, and the interior is mostly stickers. I don't understand why the clarinet is a sticker though. That doesn't make any sense. But I'll be real, I wish a lot of these were built instead of stickered. Like, I feel like they could have built a single chair here for Squidward to sit in, maybe built a bathtub here, maybe have this entire floor be the bathtub. Because as it stands, even though the exterior is great, the interior I feel like leaves a lot to be desired. But I say this is overall one of the better of the Snap and Switch sets, even if there aren't a lot of play features in it. Next up is the Chum Bucket, which is really cool because this was like the only Chum Bucket outside of Lego. The Plankton minifigure is just the same as the Krusty Krab one, but it makes perfect sense for him to be in the set, though I do wish they gave him another face. We also have Karen, who is rather small in this set, but I think they translated her decently well into a minifigure. Honestly, we need more Karen, just merchandise in general. I like Karen a lot. A neat feature with this one is that the doors actually open up, which is surprising. I didn't expect them to actually do that. Too bad they can't fit through the doors, so it's kind of unnecessary, but credit where credit is due. And the interior of the Chum Bucket is very bare bones. It has the menu, which actually does make sense for it to be a sticker, but it also has this red beam that's often seen in the Chum Bucket. But the downside is that the stickers don't stick that well, so it has fallen on me quite a few times, and it doesn't even look that great. I think the issue is that it's sticking onto curved pieces, like multiple pieces at once that are in a weird angle like this. because this center one is stuck just fine, but it's just these ones that keep falling off and doing this weird shit. I will say this does look better than the Lego Chum Bucket. Even though I do like the play features of the Lego Chum Bucket more, this one at least has the door opening thingy, and you can actually move these, which I suppose is also a neat play feature as well. It's not much, but I'm just grasping at straws. But the Area X Chum Bucket is definitely the best Chum Bucket so far. Be sure to check out that video after you're done. I'm really proud of it. Next up is the one that I got pretty heated about last time, the Bikini Bottom Bus. Honestly, it's a cute build. It's no Bikini Bottom Express from Lego, but it has more accurate colors, and it does make sense for these to be windows, given how small the build is. And it does give more of a play feature since it is a vehicle, and vehicles are always fun play features. But the issue I had with it is the character they chose for this, and I was upset that they didn't include The Rock. Do they ever fix this? Stay tuned to find out. But as it stands, I definitely think I was too harsh on this. Because on its own, it's pretty cute. I do like the vehicle, though it does suck that Patrick can't fit in said vehicle. But I do consider this a good set. Also, the sign display is really cute as well, although a little wobbly. And Patrick himself, I actually think they improved upon the Mega Bloks one, because in the Mega Bloks minifigure, these legs were just his pants. While here, they made his pants bigger, so it looks less like his junk is suffocating. So good job, Snap and Switch. This is a good set. And now for the stuff I haven't covered in the original Snap and Switch video, but have tackled in other videos on this channel. This one is Sandy's rocket. And here's the Sandy minifigure. One thing I find very bizarre is that it's like a weird hybrid between Lego and Mega Bloks. I wonder why they did this, because it's definitely very different, especially with the leg articulation. None of the other characters have leg articulation. So in order to be fair, I would have just had it be based on the Mega Bloks. Also, it doesn't have a tail, and the arm articulation is a lot more limiting because it's more like Lego articulation, which is fine if it wasn't for the other Mega Bloks inspired figures in this set, making her feel like an outcast. Also, one thing I despise about this is the sticker. Why did they make this a sticker when it's a round surface? Because it's very easy to fall off. When I was comparing all of the minifigures in that one YouTube short, it even fell off and I couldn't find it. So yeah, fuck this flower. I hate it. Super lazy. And unfortunately, the rocket isn't much better. It looks very clunky, and the interior is just okay. Sandy does fit in it, which I do like, but in order to get her in the rocket, unfortunately, you have to be very careful. Oh, did I mention that this set is really fucking fragile? I have had this motherfucker break on me so many times when I was building it, and it still breaks. It is the most fragile out of all of the Snap and Switch sets. There are a lot of loose pieces. Like right now, even this is loose. It also has the spinning gimmick, which I would have loved, but it doesn't spin that well, so what's even the point? So unfortunately, this is not only the worst Sandy's rocket set, but this has to be the worst Snap and Switch set of them all. I would not recommend this in the slightest. And I really hope they fix it like they did with the pineapple and the Krusty Krab, because this one actually needs fixing. Okay, my frustrations aside, now let's talk about a location that has never gotten a set up to this point. Jellyfish Fields. Typically this is the point where I'd say I give them massive points of originality, but there is something I do want to bring up about this. I made a video on what if Lego SpongeBob were to make a comeback. And one of the locations I included was Jellyfish Fields, because at that point there haven't been any sets relating to Jellyfish Fields. And this came out after that video, which makes me wonder if they got inspired by my video. I doubt it, but it does make me sort of curious, because it does use some of my ideas, like the jellyfish being on clear pieces, the coral formations. They even used the way I did the flowers. but this is still a really cute set. The jellyfish field sign looks a little weird, but I still think it looks okay. I love the use of greenery. Even the stickers are pretty well utilized. The one downside I do have about this is the SpongeBob minifigure. It is an exact duplicate of the pineapple one. And the reason why that sort of bothers me is because they could have easily put him in his jellyfishing glasses. And since these are based on Mega Bloks, there is a mold for glasses that Mega Bloks have made in the past, so I don't get why they didn't use that. But as it stands, it's a nice display piece. And it's pretty big, as it should be. And even though there isn't a lot of play factor, it still makes for a really nice display piece. The second to last one is a very interesting choice because instead of a location, we have a SpongeBob popsicle. Hey, I'll give them points for originality. Lego or Mega Bloks have never done this before. Probably because when those came out, the popsicles weren't as popular as they are now. But this is a nice build. I like how it's not perfectly square. The color choices look really nice. And it has a really cool play feature. Because as it says on the box, it comes with 2 sets of eyes and 4 different sticker faces. And here's what some of the faces look like. Which I will say is a nice gimmick, though I wish they made it more brick built, because once you apply a sticker, unless you want to break the stickers, you can't really change the faces. So my popsicle is stuck like this. So I wish they found a way to make the customability less permanent, but I do like the inclusion. Also, it comes with a display stand, which is also really nice because this is meant for display. I also like how it's transparent, so it kind of looks like ice. But this is probably one of my favorite sets, solely for originality. Plus, it makes me really hungry for a SpongeBob popsicle. And for the grand finale, Patrick's Rock. This is really cool because I legit thought that they would just skip out on this due to the Bikini Bottom bus, but I'm really grateful they didn't. And it makes me wonder if they actually listened to me in that video. Again, I doubt it, but it would make a lot of sense. And you can lift it up just like Patrick's Rock. The Patrick minifigure is the same, so I wish they gave him a different expression, but oh well. Even the TV has like a nice Easter egg because he's watching Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy. And this is actually a screenshot from the episode. The chair is a little weird. You can't really sit in it, but that's kind of the issues with these types of minifigures opposed to the chair itself, but it is accurate. One thing I do want to bring up is how it does come with stickers, but I left them out because I'll be completely honest, I think it looks better without them, because here it looks a little inaccurate. But this is what the sticker sheet looks like. It comes with Gary, which is very interesting because we have never gotten a Gary prior to this, and he's just a sticker. It would be cool to have like a brick built Gary eventually. It'd probably be like the Mega Bloks one if I'm making an educated guess here. Hell, this might be the best Patrick's Rock we have ever gotten, because the Lego Patrick's Rock just looks super inaccurate, and even though the Area X inspiration box does look better, that is mainly the interior, while this is the exterior that is meant to represent Patrick's Rock on the outside. Plus, you can actually fit Patrick in the rock, which is something I wish more house-related builds would do. So yeah, this might be my favorite Snap and Switch set. It's like a tie between this one, the Popsicle, and Jellyfish Fields, honestly. All of those turned out pretty good. And the best part is that now, all 3 of these sets make for a great display piece. Because for a while, it was just the Pineapple and Squidward's Easter Island head without Patrick's Rock, which makes it feel empty. But now we have all the houses, which is awesome. So that was my review of all the Snap and Switch sets that they have released so far. Not counting variants like the re-releases of the Pineapple and the Krusty Krab, or the one with Squidward's house and the bubble stand, or the Comic-Con exclusive SpongeBob Popsicle with the hat. So to answer my question, was I too harsh on this? A little bit. I think so. I will say it did start off pretty rough, especially with the lack of play features and the displays not looking that great of displays. I definitely think I was the right amount of harsh on this Sandy's Rocket set, because this absolutely sucks. But after that dud, we got the Popsicle, we got Jellyfish Fields, we got the Rock. So I say they're definitely improving a ton. So if you want some cheap sets, then personally, I do think Area X is a lot better, even though that's like $20 for each of the Good Friends Imagination boxes. If that's out of your price range, then maybe consider these, especially the latter half of the line. But what do you think of Snap and Switch? Do you like them? Do you hate them? Are you mixed on them? Do you think they're improving? Do you think they're taking a nosedive? Comment below. And as always, it's all Sab from here. Hello random person, Sab Nino here. This video is history because I got my very first sponsorship and I am so excited. But I have gotten free review copies of some Area X sets and some Balody sets. A brand that I haven't even tackled on this channel before. And they're all SpongeBob, so you guys will watch. But before I delve into that, first off, I want to show off the Snap and Switch SpongeBob TV. I think this is one of the better Snap and Switch builds. It's really cute, and I actually did own a SpongeBob TV that looked almost just like this. The gimmick is to recreate episodes, but the only one you're really able to recreate is Hello Bikini Bottom, so I wish they give you more options for other SpongeBob episodes. Maybe put this in the above Five Below section. But as it stands, it's a really cute display piece. But enough about Snap and Switch, let's get into today's sponsor, and then we will talk about the Area X sets because, well, the Balody sets haven't shipped yet. This video is sponsored by Barware. Let's face it, as much as LEGO is cool to build, sometimes it's either out of our price range or are missing key brands that you might be interested in. For me, SpongeBob has been lacking in the LEGO space, so imagine my surprise that this website has just about every good SpongeBob brand under its branch. Don't like SpongeBob? No problem, because it has other cool stuff too, from movies to anime. It even has different building methods such as Microbricks and Technic. These sets come from all over the world, so some warehouses provide special deals. From the US, the EU, and the one currently having special deals, China. Plus, if you want an even better discount on items and want to support the channel, use the promo code SABNINO to get 14% off on certain items. As someone who loves showcasing niche and obscure merchandise on the channel, having Barware as a sponsor is a great way to do just that. Thank you for listening, and now back to the video. The first set is this SpongeBob. These are made for the 25th anniversary. I know the SpongeBob and the Patrick have like a name? Okay, I found the instructions. These are called Good Friends SpongeBob and Patrick. SpongeBob is misspelled. And I have both of them. I can't stress this enough, but I got these for free. These would have been like $60 otherwise, which is still a pretty good price on their website, but I just appreciate it. And one thing I appreciate about this line for the 25th anniversary is how they actually credit the artists they use in every single product. And this one is made by Andrew Kolb. It's hard to see because the instructions are kind of folded, and he is from Canada, which is really cool. And according to the instructions, he is an illustrator who grew up on SpongeBob, so I could imagine him being really happy about this collab. My copy didn't come with a box, but I did get this piece of paper. There's nothing on the back. And we also got this, which also has a lot of other artists who were featured in the collab. I think this is the artist that inspired the Area X sets. I know these were on a puzzle, same with this one. Okay, this is one of the Area X sets. I know this one was a part of the Krabby Patty collab. This was on one of the boxes. This was like on a pamphlet. Honestly, I love just about all of these artists and all the unique ways they have interpreted SpongeBob. This is the type of shit that I appreciate about brands like Vocaloid, because they're always collaborating with artists and other brands to create some really cool stuff. So it's awesome seeing SpongeBob take that approach for the 25th anniversary, and I hope we get to see more stuff like this because SpongeBob is such an iconic character that he doesn't have to be perfectly on model and still be recognizable. So yeah, please do more of these artist stuff. I would definitely try to buy as much as I can. I definitely want to get the card pack from Unbox Industries and that one plush from this really cute Korean artist. In terms of the set itself, when it's built properly, it actually looks really good. The downside is that mine broke, and I'll get into a little bit as to why. I do think this is my fault and not an issue on Area X's for the most part, though I do wish instead of this wood that there was some way to make this one solid thing instead of one that bends. But the interior, it's really cute. It's like this avant-garde, almost trippy innards of SpongeBob, and it has some cool features to it, like there's a lot of cupcakes, which is probably a reference to his birthday, which was last year, the 25th anniversary, as it says here. I love the triple Gooberberry sunrise. I like how this gift is printed instead of a sticker. This heart, I have a complicated relationship with, solely because I accidentally put like a stud on the face side, and unfortunately that's some of the reason as to why this thing broke on itself, because I was trying to rebuild this, so I had to build this entire thing twice, and I've been trying to take this wooden thing apart so I can reposition the Patrick, but unfortunately there is no support for him to stand in, so he just kind of flies around, and I wish there was a better way to display him. In terms of the figure itself, it is still really cute, and I even love the chocolate covered heart. It makes me kind of worry for his health, but I like it. Also, it has like this spiral background. I actually use this background for a lot of my videos. I will show it on screen. A lot of the 20th anniversary and onward stuff I actually make custom, like the doodle background and the bubble background. I actually use photos from the merchandise that I own, and for the diamond background, I just painstakingly crafted that. But anyway, about the set, I wish the background was just printed on the back of this wooden face frame, because instead you can kind of see it on the bottom here, but it's kind of falling off. I know that's due to like the broken wood, but it is a very difficult thing to build. And unfortunately, I am not satisfied with how this turned out, which is a shame because I love this idea, I love the details. It's just the exterior that just kind of ruined it for me. I even love that. This is a cute SpongeBob illustration. This is right up my alley. But as you saw in the instructions, there are two of them. So will SpongeBob's best friend save this? Let's find out. Next up, we have Patrick Star, which thankfully turned out a lot better than SpongeBob. His shape is really cute, and I am just noticing an error that I accidentally put. These wood cardboard thingies, these are meant to be on the front. So I think the perfect thing I feel like I can say on this matter is whoopsie doodle. Also, here's kind of a way you can light it up. You're technically supposed to use the arms due to fear of things falling, which makes sense, but thankfully, the interior of this build is a lot more sturdy than the SpongeBob one. And my major complaint about the Patrick one is fixed here, because SpongeBob has studs that he can latch onto, so he can perfectly sit in place. And I love that. And there's a cute gimmick too of him just launching out of a Krabby Patty. Though I feel like they got the innards of SpongeBob and Patrick kind of reversed. You'd think SpongeBob would be the one with the Krabby Patties and Patrick would be the one with the ice cream. Because even though both of them love ice cream and Krabby Patties, I think those are more synonymous with both of their characters. Since SpongeBob works at the Krusty Krab and makes a bunch of Krabby Patties, and Patrick has a love for ice cream, to the point where in Sponge Out of Water, ice cream was his superpower. But I love the way they build the Krabby Patties. I'm guessing that's queen jellyfish? But it's hard to say because it's so small, so maybe it's a princess jellyfish, which is a really cute concept. But overall, I am a lot more satisfied with the Patrick than I am with the SpongeBob. I know these were trending on Instagram for a while. This was before I decided to take a social media detox. But I used to see these all the time, like on my Instagram feed. So I'm guessing these were like pretty trendy to own, and I can definitely see why, because they're cute display pieces. It's just a shame that the Patrick one turned out better than the SpongeBob one. But I ain't complaining. I like the Patrick show. I just wish both of them looked good, and I will definitely try to tape this. Oh, and I forgot to mention this in the video, but another thing I really appreciate about the sponsor is that I have complete creative freedom in terms of what I am allowed to say about these. But even though the SpongeBob turned out less than ideal, I am gonna say my bad on this one, in that nothing I say about these have anything to do with the distributors, because the packaging, the way they package this, is borderline SpongeBob proof. Watch the Plankton movie to understand what I'm referencing there. But as it stands, I'm not sure where I'd put these, honestly. Like, in terms of the rating of the entire Area X line, I think the Krusty Krab might be the highest, the Pineapple might be number 2, and the entirety of the Good Friends line, the smaller ones that I tackled in a bigger video, it's hard to say, because I like the gimmick of this one more, but Good Friends is a lot more iconic. But at the same time, these two are both Good Friends, so are they a part of the same line? I don't know, I might put the smaller Good Friends higher solely because we get a lot of locations that we don't have in buildable forms yet, but this is still really cute. And overall, I would recommend these. I just recommend being very, very careful with the wood. Don't do what I did and completely fuck it up. Don't let your OCD get the best of you. Just accept the fact that the Patrick in your SpongeBob is just gonna not sit right ever. But who knows, maybe I even built that section wrong. It's hard to say, really. Wouldn't be the first time I fucked things up with these sets. And that's kind of an issue I started to notice with Area X as a whole. You have to be very, very precise. One wrong move could lead you to having to build the entire thing all over, which is why I probably wouldn't recommend any of these sets to children. They will probably be very frustrated with a lot of the methods and how tedious a lot of the builds are, but you get results. These are definitely adult collector's items, I'd say. Now I'm just gonna let this video footage sit in my Google Photos until I get the Balody sets, which are gonna be interesting because those are micro builds. So quick update, I did fix the SpongeBob with double-sided tape because that's the only tape I have, but unfortunately I had to rebuild all of this, and at this point this is broken on me like 6 times, so I honestly stopped giving a shit. So if you had to pick any of these, I would definitely go with Patrick. For the second half of this video, we are actually going to be talking about a company that we have never talked about before on this channel, that being Balody. And as per usual, it is sent by our sponsor, Barweir, who sent me this sick-ass sticker. Thank you so much. Say what you will about the stuff inside, but so far, the company sending me these review copies did a phenomenal job with the packaging. I really have no complaint. They were well packaged and put together and were handled with care. I guess the best way to talk about the Balody sets is to go over the minifigures. So for context, there are 3 sets, and my biggest issue is that all of the figures are the exact same for each of the sets. Same characters, same expression, same mold, same outfit, same everything. Which is why you're seeing all 3 of these SpongeBobs. I will say, SpongeBob looks pretty good. I do have one issue with the figures, which I will dig into once we talk about the sets. He has like a decent face, though one of them came in with like a black smudge, but my therapist pointed out that I could just color it in with Sharpie. But I don't think that's big of an issue. Again, it's the same for each of them, so if you get like a defective one, there's at least that. It reminds me a lot of the Area X one, though there are things that I wish Area X did. For instance, they actually added dents in the holes, which I really enjoy. And the sleeves are actually a part of the arm, which I also wish Area X did. Next up is Patrick Star. Star of the hit TV show Patrick Star Show and star of the video game Patrick Star Game. He might be getting a spin-off movie, but I'm not sure what's up with that. One issue I kind of have with him is his feet. What are up with his feet? Is there a reason for this? But Patrick looks pretty good. Unique face, unique mold. Reminds me a lot of Area X. I just wish they weren't the same figurine 3 times. Woodward might be my least favorite out of all of them, because plain and simple, his face is ugly. He is an ugly motherfucker. I hate it. I hate his face. Look at it. He is ugly and he's proud. And I know why this is. Okay. It's stitched on there pretty good, but basically there's 2 pieces for the head, a piece for the eye, and as you can see, a piece for a nose. I personally would have just made the nose a separate piece, not the eyes. Also, the printing of the eyes didn't do that great of a job. He looks ugly. Second to last, we have Mr. Krabs. He's a little chunky, but I think they translated him pretty well. I did have a hard time with his eye stalks though, I will be honest about that. But they look pretty good from a distance, you can barely tell that I had a hard time with it. Again, it reminds me a lot of Area X, though it still has the weird leg problem. I don't like these legs. Time for the last one. We have Gary, which I will say, I'm not sure if this is intentional or not. This one is colored different. I'm not sure which one is meant to be the actual one. I'm guessing this one, solely because that's the ones we have a duplicate of, but this is honestly the best Gary I've seen. The only real downside is like the lack of green on the bottom, but other than that, it looks pretty good. If I redid that YouTube short of the minifigures, I would probably boost this Gary up to number 1, if I'm being honest. But enough about the minifigures, let's go over the set. Who lives in a pineapple under the sea? Eugene Krabs does. I say, out of all the builds that we're gonna go over from Balody, this one was the hardest. You're basically building it 1 layer at a time. But one thing I never really liked about the instructions is that they always do it by layer, when I wish they built it like kind of similar to how they would with actual Lego, where they don't just focus on the layer and instead what the focus of the build is. Like for instance, maybe start off with the ground and then put in the accessories like the TV and the chair. But that could be nitpicky. Honestly, after these sets, I'm probably never gonna do Microbricks again. These were difficult, but you get results. This does look like SpongeBob's Pineapple, though I can definitely see why the Area X Pineapple doesn't brick build the exterior now that I've actually had a set where you build it. But let's look at the inside. Off the bat, it doesn't open right away, so I apologize for the lighting. Here you have the living room, which looks pretty good. The only downside is that these antennas are kind of flimsy, so I can't have them stick up like they do in the instructions. Also, the chair is the same orange as the pineapple. I would have made it red like the bottom base, but for miniature builds of the pineapple, it does look really good. Obviously, it's not as detailed as the Area X Pineapple, nor did I expect it to be, but this is still a respectable amount of detail that is put into the set. It even fixed one of the issues I had with the Area X one, by having the living room actually be blue. It comes with a bathroom. I believe this tiny thing is meant to be the ringer, but it almost looks like a toilet stool or like one of those squatty potties. Know what I'm talking about? It has like a weird commercial attached to it. The garage also opens up. It's kind of weird how it's in the living room, but then again, Area X doesn't really fix this issue either. I guess it's kind of difficult when SpongeBob typically always has a garage door, but doesn't always have a garage. So I'm not gonna fault Balody for that one. I'd only recommend this one if you want a challenge. If you want a challenge of a build and are into Microbricks, then I would recommend this pineapple. If not, then I'd probably recommend some of the other sets in this line first, and maybe end with the pineapple, because I'm guessing these all come in a 3-pack. That's how I got them. But let's move on to the next one. The Krusty Krab, home of the Krabby Patty, because no one else will give it a home. Okay, let's see if I can try out these legs. Okay, they stick on. They serve their purpose. They just look ugly though, like as a figure. Oh yeah, I forgot. The minifigure criticism. Let me delve into that real quick. With just about all these sets, the characters are too big to interact. Like look at SpongeBob, he can't fit in his bathtub. He is way too big for his couch. Gary should not be twice the size of his couch. So I would have made the figures smaller, or not have included the minifigures at all. Or, you know what would be really cool? If these were brick built, and they were like just really tiny, simplistic versions of the characters. I know I've seen something like that before done in Lego, so if I find it, I'll show it on screen. But something like that would have been really cool. Very avant-garde. But anyway, the Krusty Krab. Even though I say the pineapple was the hardest, this one had some difficult builds to the point where after a while I started building some details wrong. For instance, this flag, I accidentally made it so this side is smaller than this one. That's not how it was supposed to be built. Also, I'm pretty sure this curve is not supposed to come up right here, and these nails are meant to be extruded more. I will say, I only found one other person who talked about these sets, and it broke my heart because he had to break all of them. But one thing that guy actually brought up, I don't remember his name, I'll probably show his name on screen, but he said that this Krusty Krab doesn't open up. I'm here to prove him wrong. It does open up. And once you slide this out, you get the Krusty Krab. I originally had this critique with the Area X Krusty Krab, but now I have this complaint with this one. You can't really open this up. I wish this was able to open up like the other ones so you can actually play in the rooms, because it's built in such a way that you can't break it and actually play in the insides. But even with that said, even if you wanted to play, SpongeBob takes up the entire size of the kitchen. Also, I think they gave SpongeBob 2 grills, if I'm not mistaken. I believe this is a grill, and that's the deep fryer. And then I'm pretty sure there's a grill right here, typically where the condiment area is. Mr. Krabs can't even fit in his office. Not even the Lego figures can fit in these. And these are like bigger than a Lego minifigure. Off topic, but do you like mini bracelet? I made it yesterday. Overall, I considered the Krusty Krab to be medium difficulty, though that roof was probably the hardest thing out of all of them. It just would not go through. It's a miracle that I even got it on. So expect some difficulty with the roof. Oh, and a few things that I almost forgot to bring up. They added a little lamp here. I think it's like a light for the boats, but there's no boat here, so it would have made more sense for the Area X Krusty Krab. Also, some of the things are miscolored. For instance, I'm pretty sure this circle is meant to be a black and not a blue, but it doesn't really matter too much. And this antenna, I'm pretty sure it's meant to be like a darker color. Also, I'm pretty sure this bamboo base is meant to be like more of a yellowish, maybe even the same color as the door hinges. But that's a nitpick, and it is the color of bamboo, so I'll give it some slack. And for the grand finale, and personally the one I was the most looking forward to building, Squidward's house. I'm not sure if Area X will ever make a Squidward's house or Patrick's rock, but for now, this is pretty good. The exterior looks really well. However, it is missing this little window here, because typically there's a window here, but when you open it up, you get a lot of iconic locales from Squidward's house, even some niche ones. For instance, this big screen television, which is from the episode Idiot Box. I was not expecting them to do that. I would have expected them to just use the normal TV design. We have this little dining area. We have a window here, which doesn't make any sense because there's no window here. What's even more bizarre is that the pineapple has actual windows. Also, there's 2 windows up here when in the actual build, they're on the 2nd floor. So I don't get what's up with that. Also, the way they built the door is a little weird. You get like this rim around it, which is a little bizarre because this is just meant to be one solid wooden door, but that's pretty nitpicky. But these are really nice micro builds. I like how it has a ton of self-portraits throughout. The one thing that's surprising about the portraits is that it's very interesting how they use stock art for the paintings opposed to actual paintings from the show. I think this one's the only one, but even this is stock art. I would have thrown in at least a Bolden Brash personally, but out of all of them, this is probably my favorite just because we haven't gotten an in-depth Squidward's house yet, and this is easily my favorite Squidward's house that is buildable in my collection. Plus, it's the easiest one to build due to how simple it is. So if you want to get these for yourself, I would highly recommend starting with this one first. I saved it for last like an idiot because I wanted to build up suspense, but oh well. I guess my last critique is that, can we stop discriminating against Patrick's Rock? Come on, we have the pineapple, we have Squidward's house, we have the Krusty Krab. Where's Patrick's Rock? We have 3 Patricks and 0 rocks. I was just kidding. He definitely made a Patrick's Rock. What do you mean these aren't Microbricks? Look, he fits right in. It's totally perfect. We have the entire Con Street gang. Okay, I'm lying. This is Five Below. But it does blend in decently well, right? Right? This makes for an alright display piece if you get the Five Below set. But this wraps up my very first sponsorship. I'm not sure what the future holds for the sponsorship, but I hope it goes well, because it means I get to show off more cool stuff like this. I thought the sponsor was very on theme for the channel, so shout out to Barweir. Be sure to check out my code and stuff if you want some cool alternative Lego stuff. These sets aren't perfect, I will be honest. Okay, the Patrick one is close to perfect, but my critiques with these sets have nothing to do with the sponsor. So overall, I am satisfied, and these are really good for free sets. And I am grateful that I was able to get these for free. So thank you, Barweir, for sponsoring this video and for letting me be open and honest about these sets and being able to share them with all of my random people. But anyway, what do you think of these sets? Do you like them? Do you hate them? Are you mixed on them? Comment below, let's start a discussion. And as always, it's all set from here.